16 years. 16 years is a long time in football. It's been 16 years since Liverpool were last at Wembley, and we all know how that turned out.
It comes for Cantona!
Wembley used to be our second home. We were there all the time, and the amount of FA Cups we won there was ridiculous.
Barnes. Rush! Goal! 3-2 Liverpool. Ian Rush gets his second. Liverpool are FA Cup winners for the fourth time.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know we played a lot in Cardiff, and we had some great moments there.
4 added minutes. And Gerrard!
But Wembley's different. There's nothing like the feeling at Wembley. And maybe this is our year. It's about time. But we've got the right man now. We have the king in charge, sitting back on his throne.
Dalglish. It might break for him. It does!
This is Liverpool's year. This is Liverpool's time. And as that faithful song rings round Wembley, we know what we're in for. Whoa, not that one. Not that song. It's this song.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark.
So as the fateful anthem runs through your head, your heart pounds as the kick-off approaches, just remember, we are Liverpool. This is our type of competition, and Wembley is going to be regained as our second home. It's time to bring the cup home and put Liverpool back on the map.
Walk on through the
This is the Radio Broadgreen Sports Carling Cup Final Special.
Yes, hello, welcome to Radio Broadgreen Sports Carling Cup Final Special. It's currently 6 minutes past 3, and that means there's just under 55 minutes till kick-off at 4 p.m. of Liverpool versus Cardiff City, live at Wembley Stadium. It's Liverpool's first trip to Wembley in 16 years. So hopefully Kenny Dalglish's boys will be able to secure a victory in relatively easy fashion. But Cardiff will be no walkover. They've played very hard to get to the final, overseeing Crystal Palace in their own semi-final, and I'm sure there'll be a tough test for Liverpool. We'll be offering full 90-minute commentary from Radio Broadgreen's very own Daniel Jameson, who is down at Wembley today to bring us all the action as it unfolds. Hopefully we'll be able to cross to Dan live at about 3:30 to get his thoughts on the lineups of both teams. He'll also have a very special guest summariser joining him for the big match live. More on that just a little bit later as to who that may be. Meanwhile, I'll be joined in the studio by Chris Orme, who, as our regular Reds correspondent, will be giving us unique insight into today's game and how he thinks it will pan out. And because this is such a special occasion for us here at Radio Broadgreen Sport, our biggest match of the year so far, Chris will also be conducting interviews in our live fan zone. So stay with us, because hopefully it will be our best show to date and Liverpool's greatest display of the season. Bit of Beatles to get you in the mood now. Magical mystery tour, because Liverpool themselves will be hoping to conduct themselves in such a manner. You're listening to Radio Broadgreen Sports, currently 3:10 on what is the big event of the weekend so far, and perhaps the English Football League season so far, because it's Liverpool versus Cardiff City live at Wembley Stadium. I'm joined by Chris on today, who's going to be our regular Liverpool correspondent as always. How are you doing, Chris? All right.
I'm not too bad.
I remember to put your mic on.
There we go. So I'm not too bad. A little bit nervous, as are most Liverpool fans, and as they should be. But I think it'll be a good game today. I've heard a lot of things on, a lot of opinions on radio and TV shows and that, and a lot of people are just saying, "Oh yeah, it should be pretty easy for Liverpool." It's not going to be easy. It's a cup final against a decent Championship side, so I think it'll be a lot closer than some people think it's going to be.
Yeah,
I really do.
I think it's partly because Cardiff currently plying their trade in the Championship, but they've worked hard to get to Wembley. I know they've had probably an easier run than Liverpool have, because Liverpool seeing off Man City in the semi-final, for example. Cardiff played fellow Championship out for Crystal Palace, but they really outperformed Crystal Palace. They just couldn't score the goals. The Cardiff display pretty much typified Liverpool's season for me. They've had similar problems. They just can't seem to score goals at crucial times.
See, another factor which I didn't realise until today was this is Liverpool's first appearance at the new Wembley. This will be Cardiff's fourth appearance at the new Wembley, because obviously they've been there in the playoffs and they've been there for the FA Cup final against Portsmouth in 2009. So surely that's going to have some kind of effect, because Cardiff know what to expect. Liverpool as a team don't, because they've never been there before.
It's like you're saying you have to go back to 1996 FA Cup final, which was infamous for the white suits and all the palaver that went on for Liverpool's last trip to the stadium. Because I know they've won the FA Cup and League Cup since, but that was at the Cardiff Millennium Stadium. With Cardiff having been there more often than Liverpool in recent years, surely it's their second home rather than the infamous old saying that Wembley used to be Liverpool's.
It's a weird coincidence, isn't it? Cardiff was classed as Liverpool's second home, but now Wembley can be classed as Cardiff's second home because they've been there 4 times in the last few years. So it'll be a tough game. I think Liverpool should have enough against this Cardiff side, but you never know. The last time Liverpool came up against a non-top division side in a cup final was the Worthington Cup final in 2001, where we beat Birmingham City on penalties, and that game Birmingham played exceptionally well, and Liverpool, they played okay, but Birmingham were the better team for the majority of that match. So it proves it's the same thing. They say it's the old cliche: for anything can happen in a cup competition, no matter who you're playing, and especially a final with the emotion and everything amped up to the way it's going to be. It's going to be quite a tight game. I do think that. I think Liverpool should have enough to win, but I think it's going to be a lot tighter than most people think.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't got up-to-date team news yet, but just before we get it, who do you think Kenny Dalglish will go with as his striking partnership? Because it's been interchangeable this year so far. Luis Suarez is now back in the fold after a suspension. Who do you think will be the big name player who sits out? Because you've got a combination of Kaut, Carroll, Suarez, Gerrard, and Bellamy, of course, playing against his old club and boyhood club that he supported, Cardiff. Which one do you think will be likely to miss out today and start on the bench?
Well, we spoke about this a little bit yesterday, and I think I just get the feeling, I don't know why, I just get the feeling Andy Carroll may be the man to miss out.
Well, because Kenny Dalglish knows more, he can rely on the likes of Bellamy and Suarez and Gerrard. He's seen throughout the year what they're more capable of, and Carroll's still a bit untested.
I think, yeah, in a way, yeah, but I also think there's no way he will leave Craig Bellamy out the starting lineup. There's no way he'll leave Luis Suarez out the starting lineup and Steven Gerrard. And it just, we topped this yesterday. He seems to fit the formation around the players. So I just get the feeling Andy Carroll may be the man to miss out today. I can't see him starting with Carroll, Suarez and Gerrard all starting, and Craig Bellamy in a cup final. I just don't see it, and I think it's more than likely Craig Bellamy may get the nod. Craig Bellamy may even play as the lone striker up front with Stuart Downing on the left wing and Suarez playing just behind. I don't know. My gut instinct is Andy Carroll may be the man to miss out today.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. When the team news gets revealed, hopefully we'll be able to cross live to Wembley, and Dan Jameson will be able to tell us exactly how Kenny Dalglish and Malky Mackay have set up their teams, and whether you've been proved right or wrong. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's not just Carling Cup action that's been going on in the higher tiers of English football. There's 3 Premier League games currently playing, as today is a Sunday. The late kick-off is Stoke versus Swansea. That's an evening game. And we can cross now to Clive Edwards, who's got news of how those teams will be lining up.
Stoke boss Tony Pulis makes 11 changes. The whole side is changed from the one that travelled to Valencia in midweek. Begovic is in goal. Walters and Crouch are back up front. Shawcross takes the captain's armband. Jerome, Pennant, Palacios, Sorensen and Fuller are all on the bench. Just 2 changes for Swansea. Gerhard Tremmel is in goal in place of Worm, and Joe Allen is back. Josh McEachran is on the bench.
Thanks to Clive Edwards there. But there's currently 2 games underway in the Premier League. It's the North London derby playing today, Arsenal versus Spurs, and Nigel Bidmead has an update for us.
Arsenal 5, Tottenham Hotspur 2, 2-2 at half-time. Arsenal motoring in the second half. Rosicky 5 minutes after the break, and then Walcott with 2 lovely strikes to make it 5-2 to Arsenal. The mystery is why Spurs have just not performed anywhere near their capabilities. Arsenal lead in this North London derby 5-2.
Well, what an absolute fight back that sounds like, Chris. Spurs were leading 2-0, I think you said before?
Spurs were leading 2-0. Arsenal then hit 2 goals in 15 minutes to take it to 2-2 at half-time. And then that second half, Spurs have barely had a touch of the ball. That is a heck of a comeback. And considering, looking at the form of the 2 teams as well, Tottenham riding high in the Premier League, Arsenal aren't in a great lot of form. That just shows Arsenal do have the class. They really do have the class.
I still think on their day Arsenal are the most interesting and probably in the top 2 or 3 sides in the Premier League on their day. It's just which Arsenal turn up. But that's some tenacity and perseverance there just to come back from being 2-0 down against your arch rivals.
Definitely. I know the home advantage may be the banker for it there, but to come from 2 goals down, it's a great feat. But to then to start off, give them a 2-goal lead and then hit 5 yourself, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely exceptional form. Meanwhile, Norwich are playing Man United at Carrow Road, and Phil Daly has an update of how that game's gone.
2 good chances for 2 goals this second half here at Carrow Road, one coming for either side. United hit the crossbar. Phil Jones pinged the ball in from the right hand side into Ryan Giggs from 6 yards. He guided it over the keeper John Ruddy, but onto the crossbar and over for a goal kick. And then a big shout by Norwich, the crowd at least, for a penalty as Wes Houlihan's cross looked to have hit a United hand, but waved away by the referee. Norwich City 0, Manchester United 1.
2 very interesting games underway already in the Premier League, and the Stoke-Swansea game to kick off shortly. But our main fixture today is, of course, Liverpool versus Cardiff in the Carling Cup final. We got interviews with several members of the Liverpool squad, a few of the Cardiff squad, especially that interview that David Holmes teased us about before. A certain relative of Stephen Gerrard will be commentating on the game today. We'll have his thoughts in a minute. And we'll also be heading to our very own fan zone here at the Radio Broadgreen studio, so don't go away. Yes, you'll listen to Radio Broadgreen Sport on the day of the Carling Cup final live from Wembley. Kick-off is at 4 p.m, and Dan Jameson will be leading the commentary team live from the ground, so make sure you stick with us. Just a few quick head-to-head facts now. The 2 clubs have only met once before in the League Cup, when Liverpool ran out 2-1 tie in a 4th-round tie at Anfield, only not so long ago in October 2007. Meanwhile, Cardiff have won twice as many games as Liverpool in this fixture, 18 wins to 9 with 2 matches drawn. Their 29 previous encounters in all competitions have yielded 95 goals. That's an average of 3.2 goals per game. There's never been a goalless draw between the 2 clubs, which I'm sure Chris will agree with me in a minute, that that's a good omen for today's game. Hopefully we'll have a high-scoring game, because even though we want Liverpool to win, being a Merseyside-based radio station, we do want an entertaining game where we can have lots of match highlights. I also promised you interviews on today's show. With Liverpool's first appearance at Wembley in 16 years on the horizon, and only 40 minutes till kick-off, Charlie Adam shares his personal thoughts on his previous experience playing at Wembley with Blackpool, the emotions the players go through whilst waiting in the Wembley tunnel, and whether the larger size of the pitch will suit or hinder his game in particular.
When the first competition comes round to the season, it's the Carling Cup final, and we're fortunate enough we're in the position we're in the final. We've had to work hard to get here, and we'll enjoy the occasion, and the only way we can do that is by winning it.
For the Liverpool supporters, it's been a long time going to Wembley, but you have recent experience of doing pretty well there. Can you just put into words what that whole experience was like with Blackpool?
Yeah, it was incredible. The whole season was incredible. It was a special time for me as a player being there, because I was given an opportunity to go and express myself and play with so many good players and a good manager, and we were successful in that way, that we got promoted to the Premier League, and we done okay, but we got relegated, so that'll always be there, that we got relegated from the Premier League, and that's tough. But no, the lads deserve a lot of credit for getting where we got to, and on the day, there was only one winner, and that was Blackpool.
What's it like, Charlie, when you're in the tunnel at Wembley, you're waiting to come out, you can hear the crowd? What sort of emotions are going through your mind?
I think for me it would be a proud occasion, because at the end of the day, it's when this club's a massive club and it's won trophies, let's say, home and abroad before, and it's won so many trophies, but to be part of a team being able to be successful is great, and we're on the first step of hopefully achieving success, and let's say if we could do that, then great. We'll dust ourselves down, and then we'll take on Arsenal at home, and we'll look forward to that, because that'll just be as big a game as the cup final.
It always looks like a huge pitch. I mean, does that suit you? You like to ping the ball around long range?
It's a big pitch, and if it gets hot as well, it takes its toll, especially when we played there in the playoff final. It was very hot, and it's a massive pitch, but you can use that to your advantage, and hopefully on the day we're ready, and we'll prepare well all week, and like I said, we'll be ready for it. We've got a lot of experienced players in the team who've won trophies before and been there, seen it, the top international, so we'll be ready, and we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great occasion for everybody, but you can only enjoy it if you win it.
And presumably to have a trophy in the cabinet if you win, obviously in February, gives you that impetus to kick on for the rest of the season. There's still a lot to play for.
We've still got a lot to play for, but we can't talk about winning trophies. If we do this, then at the end of the day we concentrate in the final, and then we look forward to a massive game at home to Arsenal on Saturday. It's going to be a tough game, because they'll need a reaction from obviously losing at Sunderland last weekend. Let's say they've got so many top players that it's going to be a tough game at home. So it's when you're at a club like this, every game's a massive game, and everybody wants to beat you. So it's that's the challenge for us.
And you've really had to do it the hard way when you look at the route to the final, away so often, and then Man City in the semi-finals.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, you have to beat somebody every round to get to a final, and you take that every year if it gets the opportunity to get to a final. So that's the way it goes, and we've got a tough game at home against Stoke in the FA Cup as well. So I say beating Man City was a great occasion, but when it started off against Exeter away, that was on the road to getting to where we are, and at the end of the day, that hard work we've put in from then till now will only be a payoff if we win. So we're looking forward to the game, and let's see if we prepare well, and then hopefully we could come away winners.
Charlie Adam there giving us his thoughts on what it's like to play at Wembley. Charlie Adam, of course, playing in many different roles in the midfield for Liverpool this season, whether it's the defensive midfielder, creative passer, or the attacking driving player. Chris, what do you think is his best position of the three?
He's not a holding midfielder, but he's not an attacking midfielder. He's your typical central midfielder. The biggest problem I've got with Charlie Adam is he is quite possibly one of the worst tacklers I've ever seen.
But at Blackpool, I thought he did quite well in the tackling department. Maybe it's just a thing about being at Liverpool or playing in bigger games. I don't know. The
Opta stats say he's given away more free kicks this season than the rest of the entire Liverpool team combined. He's got a great left foot on him, and at the size of this Wembley pitch, him pinging them passes out from that left foot of his crossfield may play into his hands with that. But he's your typical central midfielder. He can hold the ball up. He's not defensive. But he's not an attacking midfielder. He's what you'd expect. He'll sit in that midfield. He'll try and break the play up. He'll pick the pass. I think Charlie Adam played at his best at the start of the season, unfortunately, when Lucas was in there, because Lucas was your defensive midfielder, holding everything, making sure the defence held the line, the midfield was quite tight. Charlie Adam then had a little bit more freedom to do what he needed to do. With Lucas being out, he has had to drop back a little bit more. He's had Jay Spearing in there now and again, but he has had to kind of quell his attacking abilities a little bit, but he's still, on his day, he's still got a great left foot that can pop a pass from anywhere, and maybe it could be something that Liverpool could use and utilise today.
Oh, it's interesting you mentioned Lucas as well, because I had an interesting fact before I came here today, is that despite Lucas only playing in the first few games in the Carling Cup because of his injury this season, he will still get a winner's medal because of the way the rules work now. If you played in, I think it's just one game and made one appearance, you get a medal. And it'd be good that he does get something for his hard work earlier in the season, because he did play very well in the earlier games.
Lucas, unfortunately, he's had a very, very roller coaster career at Liverpool.
He's a bit of an unsung hero as well.
He had some awful times and awful seasons where the fans absolutely... I wouldn't go as far as hate, but I think they really didn't like him, even hinging on detesting him for being picked in the team. But he has played well. The last season and a half, he had played well, and the run Liverpool were on, where we couldn't really defend to keep hold of the ball since his injury, proves how much of a loss he's been. And I am glad he does get a winner's medal from this, should we win it, should I say.
Well, who do you think will be Liverpool's main impetus in the midfield then? If it's not Charlie Adam, of course, not Lucas, he's out, who are you relying on? Can only be one answer, really.
Exactly. It can only be Steven Gerrard, to be honest. Steven Gerrard is the life and soul. I don't think he's still not back to 100% fitness. I really don't think he is, but he's still your driving force in midfield. He's your go-to man, he's your creator, he's your playmaker. I know we haven't got the confirmed teams yet, but I think we can all agree we're probably 99.9% certain that Steven Gerrard will probably start today's game. So I think he's got to be the driving force today, and it all depends. It all hinges with Steven Gerrard playing. It's all going to hinge on who starts up front and which way attacking wise Kenny Dalglish is going to go. Will decide how we're going to play it. We need to know whether Steven Gerrard's playing as that attacking midfielder or he's playing as a central midfield. We don't know yet, but Steven Gerrard's going to be the carrier on the pitch today, and as captain he's going to have to be the one. If Liverpool get into a sticky situation, he's going to have to be the man to G that team up and get them the result they need.
Well, thanks for that, Chris. We're heading off into our fan zone, surely. Here you'll be conducting the interviews to see what several other members of Radio Broadgreen staff think about the Liverpool lineup today once it's announced. But we've got a tune now which you've selected for the show. David Holmes did use it earlier on. It's the Clash's London Calling, because obviously Liverpool and Cardiff are both heading to Wembley today. After that, we'll have an interview with Liverpool Steven Gerrard. That's the Clash's London Calling, because Liverpool and Cardiff are both heading to Wembley to play the Carling Cup final, which is scheduled to kick off, fingers crossed, in just under half an hour. So the atmosphere is building there at the stadium. We're going to cross live to Dan Jameson in just a few moments' time. But first, with the first domestic cup final season set for just under half an hour, Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard spoke to BBC Sport and gave his thoughts on what are his personal competition priorities this season, as well as the club's. He also gives his thoughts on Kenny Dalglish's influence on the club and also the current situation with the England setup.
6 long years since Liverpool last delivered on the big stage. Was this a competition that you targeted right at the start because there was no European competition for you?
Yeah, of course. Over the last few years when you've been involved in Champions League, this tournament gets diluted a bit, and of course you've got to make other competitions priority, but there was no Europe this year. Three trophies for us up for grabs, and we needed to take them all serious, and I think by Kenny's team selection and our performances throughout this competition has shown how important it has been for us.
I did see an interview with you that you did before talking about the top 4 and how big it is for you, but you would rather win a competition like this 3 or 4 times than finish in the top 4 3 or 4 times? Yeah,
of course. I mean, for me, I want to finish my career with as many winners' medals as I can. Finishing 4th is not good enough, basically. It never has been, as a sportsman. But finishing 4th is massively important financially for the club, so I realise it is important. But for me, from a selfish point of view, playing at Wembley and walking up the steps and lifting trophies as captain of the team is what it's all about for me.
Will you be looking forward, though, to coming up against your cousin?
Yeah, of course. I'll look forward to playing against them, yeah. But once the whistle goes, I'll be forgetting all about Anthony and doing everything I can to make sure it's Liverpool win.
How many of the Gerrard family will be down there?
Well, if you take into consideration, Anthony will probably have 40-50 down there, and I'll probably have 40-50. There could be close to 100 probably, yeah.
Here comes Abdul Osman.
penalty. One of the worst results in the history of Liverpool Football Club.
It's a lot healthier than this time last year. You were out of nearly all the competitions 12 months ago.
Yeah, I think this time last year the season was basically over for us. It wasn't good enough, and Kenny come in, he lifted everyone around the place, and we've moved forward. At the beginning of the season our targets were to finish in the top 4 and try and go in long runs in the cup competitions. We're in a Carling Cup final, we're really close to going to Wembley again in the FA Cup, and we're 4 points off 4th with fixtures that we believe we can make up that 4-point gap. So everything's going well at the moment. We believe we're really close to going on a run and bringing some success back.
You know your manager very well. What kind of character is he away from the dugout?
He still thinks he's a player. He's a fantastic manager, he's a good man manager, he shows the players an awful lot of support, and he's really honest, and that's all you ask for as a player from your manager. But from day to day on the training ground, he still thinks he's still young at heart. He wants a game of footy and he loves the game, he's passionate, he's got this club in his blood, he knows what's expected at the club, and he transmits that to the players. You've got to be a winner at this club, you've got to play under pressure, and there's a lot expected of every player individually and as the team, and he's been there as a player and as a manager and had success. So he's the ideal person to take advice off and listen to.
Were you surprised at the sudden departure of Fabio Capello?
Well, it was a bit of a surprise and a shock, but that situation was between Fabio and the FA. But I don't think it'll affect the England team. We'll get a new manager, it's a fresh start for everyone, and it may be just the lift we need to go and have a successful summer.
You've had the England captaincy before, would you be happy to take it on again?
Of course I would, yeah. I want it.
Can you embellish a little bit more, maybe?
There's nothing to say.
What's the meaning of it then?
There's nothing to say about the England captaincy. If I get offered it, I'll take it, and I'll be delighted, and I'll be really proud to take it. But it's not my decision. It's down to, first of all, who Stuart Pearce wants to lead the team out, and then whoever gets the job full time. But I want to be England captain.
Liverpool's Stephen Gerrard talking to BBC Sports' Juliet Ferrington at Melwood this week. As Stephen Gerrard touched upon in that interview, he will be taking on his cousin Cardiff City's Anthony Gerrard in the Carling Cup final in just a few minutes' time. Here, Anthony talks about how often he's played against his cousin, how Stephen rates against other midfielders around the world, and whether there will be any ruthless tackles being thrown against each other in today's fixture.
The talk is going to be about you and Stephen. How often have you played against him?
Never, to be honest. Only had a kick about as kids. That's about as far as our paths have crossed. And for it to be in a final, what can I say? It's what dreams are made of, to be honest. So I'm starting to get a little bit of a buzz now. It's a fantastic occasion for everyone involved.
At least you won't be awestruck by your cousin being on the opposite side.
No, that's one player who won't be, to be honest. You see a lot of kids and even adults, when you see them walking out, they're all walking out I'm surprised people don't collapse, hyperventilate the amount of times I see it. And I'm just like, he's just the same as me, he's got the same nose, it's one of them, to be honest. That is but I might give him a bit of banter about that. We're always saying, he's got the biggest nose. So, from a family point of view, I think it's one for everyone in the family. It doesn't matter who wins it. People are going to be, smiling at the end of it. Some mightn't be as big as others, but it's, what can I say? It's absolutely fantastic.
I know you won't be unbiased, but how good a player is Stephen Gerrard?
I don't know, to be honest. What can I say about him? He's won every single medal he has going, apart from international honours and the Premiership. But apart from that, if you look at his trophy cabinet, I think there's not many players who come close to it, to be honest. The only player who I'd put ahead of him in the midfielder stakes, and just for what he's achieved in the last 4 years, and that's Xavi. Apart from Xavi, I'd say that's the only player ahead of him, to be honest. And when I was fortunate to be in his villa in the summer, and when you get a signed shirt off, I think it was Iniesta or Xavi, saying against what was it, to the toughest opponent ever played against, off the calibre of players like that, to write stuff on shirts. It's I was getting a bit wow, looking at it. So much, for him, it must bring what he is in football circles.
How ruthless then will you have to be?
Not too ruthless, to be honest. You can't kick your cousins, honest. No, I'm only joking. I think you do anything to win. Stephen's got an abundance of medals, and he's played in these occasions so many times, most of them down in the Millennium Stadium. So if the push comes to shove and he's going to be 1-on-1 with us winning 1-0, then I think he knows he's getting took down, to be honest. And I think that'll be the vice versa. If Liverpool are winning and one of our players goes through and he's the last man, then you do what's best for your team. Obviously, if it's cousin on cousin, then I think words will be getting exchanged. After all said and done, you're still family, and you get on with it, and that's it. Be happy for whoever wins.
Anthony Gerrard giving his thoughts on the family rivalry to BBC Sport Wales. And hopefully the team news have now been revealed, and we can cross over to Wembley Live, where Radio Broadgreen's Dan Jameson will be able to give us his views on how the teams have shaped up. Are you there, Dan?
Yeah, from rather bright and sunny Wembley. We have the Liverpool team news. We're still waiting on our Welsh counterparts to give us a confirmed starting lineup. I can tell you Liverpool lineup as following. Pepe Reina is in goal. Your average back four of Glenn Johnson, Martin Skirtle, Daniel Agger and Jose Enrique. A midfield five, we believe, of Steven Gerrard, Charlie Adams, Stuart Downing, Luis Suarez and Jordan Henderson, with Andy Carroll getting the nod above Craig Bellamy up front on his own. Bellamy does take his place among the substitutes today, who are Donny, Carragher, Spearing, Bellamy, Kite, Kelly and Maxi Rodriguez. So interesting, Bellamy left out against his former club and hometown team, of course, the team he supported as a boy. We're still waiting for the Cardiff team news. We'll get that to you as soon as possible. So it's all set up indeed for Craig Bellamy possibly coming on. Could he maybe score the winner?
Well, I've got you, Dan. Who else do you think will be Liverpool's big performance today?
Looking at the team when they came into the stadium today, you have to say Steven Gerrard up against his cousin, of course, today. I think he is going to be key to Liverpool's performance today. He's the one who's going to provide that drive from midfield. The two guys who we think may be playing wide, Henderson and Downing, haven't impressed me at all today. It's a big opportunity for one of them to really step up and be a big game performer today. And outside of that, who else but Luis Suarez? He was excellent again last weekend against Brighton in the FA Cup, and surely he should be able to do the same again today against the Championship standard defence. How
about Cardiff? We haven't touched too much on them so far in today's show, but just looking at their squad members, they've got some pretty good players hidden away there who may cause an upset today.
Yeah, I mean they do have a few players with Premier League experience. Kenny Miller, of course, up front, has played for most of the teams in England and Scotland. They've also got Haris Vucic, is an interesting young man. He's joined on loan from Newcastle United, a Slovakian midfielder. He's been quite impressive by all accounts in the early part of his loan spell. He has Premier League experience, as does Peter Whittingham. He's just been nominated for Championship Player of the Year, and he's actually top goal scorer for Cardiff this season with 10 goals. I think if Cardiff are going to get anything out of this game, it's going to have to come from him or Kenny Miller to really trouble this Liverpool defence. And they have got in goal, we believe, their semi-final penalty saving hero Tom Heaton in goal. We believe he has overcome his ankle problem. We think he might start ahead of David Marshall, who is their usual goalkeeper. He's going to have a good game, we think, if Cardiff are going to have to get anything out of this.
Well, Tom Heaton, ex-Man United reserve player as well. It'll be interesting to see how he rises to the big occasion. Do you think it'll be a high-scoring game?
If you press me for a prediction, I think that Cardiff may score first. I think they'll come out really, really firing, but hopefully Liverpool can pull through and win the game today. I think there are goals in it. Neither side are going to. I don't think either side are going to be particularly particularly sort of conservative with their approach. Both teams can score goals, and both teams do score goals. So I think it might be quite an open game, hopefully, for us to commentate on today, and we could see a fair few goals flying in.
Well, thanks for that, Dan. Hopefully we'll be able to cross over to you before the game when the Cardiff team news is revealed.
As soon as we get it, we'll bring it straight to you as soon as we can get the confirmed lineups.
All right, cheers, Dan.
Thank you very much.
You're listening to Radio Broadgreen Sports Carling Cup final special. We're crossing back for live commentary of the game when it kicks off at 4, so don't go away. There's less than 15 minutes to kick off of the big event. It's a big occasion for Cardiff City playing the Carling Cup final, and this is not lost on manager Malky Mackay. Here he talks about how big a game this is for Cardiff City and why he thinks Kenny Dalglish has rejuvenated Liverpool more than anybody else could.
It's a massive test on Sunday, that's without a doubt. You know, Kenny has instilled a passion back into Liverpool again. He's someone that is synonymous with the football club, and I've read his autobiography, a while ago, and him being asked back by Rafa Benitez, when you hear him talk about that, the passion that he's got in his voice when he's talking about just being asked back to be an ambassador and be involved in the building of the academy, rebuilding of the academy, it was as if he was coming home again. And so you're talking about a man that's got he's got a personal impact on that football club. He's not just the manager of the club. It's something that's been half of his football life, more than that, since he left Celtic. So you're talking about someone that cares deeply about his club, as do I about mine. Both of us are passionate about football. He's got an awful lot of experience in the game, and he's got some top quality footballers. But as I say, that's his side of it. I've got my side of it, and I've got my team, and we'll concentrate on our game plan over the next 2 or 3 days to go out there and go to win this competition, because that's what we're coming to do.
Cardiff City manager Malky Mackay and his thoughts on how Liverpool chose the best man for the job in Kenny Dalglish. Now, a quick fact now about Cardiff for those who like their stats out there. Malky Mackay's men are yet to win outside Wales in 2012, a run of 6 matches in all competitions. Meanwhile, we got an interview with his counterpart, Liverpool manager Kenny Dalglish, who will certainly relish his side's return to Wembley for the first time in 16 years. Ahead of Liverpool's biggest fixture of the season so far, he was asked how much lifting the League Cup would mean to him, the squad and the fans.
Well, obviously it means a lot to myself, but more importantly, it means a lot to a lot of people who've had to endure a few years when they've not been there. I know but somebody said it was 19 years, but there was a wee bit of reconstruction going on at the time as well that never get taken into consideration. But for everybody that's connected with the football club, I think it's just reward for the loyalty that they've shown to the football club and the support they've shown it. For the players, it's an indication of how well they've done as well. So everybody's looking forward to it. Well, we've got a chance, haven't we? So we're going to do the best we possibly can. We'll continue to try and progress the club, move it forward. We've moved on from where we were last year, I think, progressing in the FA Cup, final of this cup, and obviously 4 points behind the 4 spots, which this time last year we were nowhere near that. So there has been progress made, and off the pitch there's a great deal of progress being made as well, with the fantastic support we've got for sponsors. I think everybody that's involved with the football club will take great satisfaction. But it's not a foregone conclusion, and we shouldn't be getting our mindset that it is going to be like that. We'll go there and we're playing a team who's achieved every bit as much as we have in getting to the final. So we'll treat them with the utmost respect, as we have done with everybody that we've played against. And we go to the final, yeah, but it's not as if there's no one there that's going to try and win it. Obviously Cardiff have a great expectation of hoping to win it as well. So it's going to be difficult for us. But just the fact that we've got there, I think, is an achievement. And once we get there, obviously we'd rather win the match than lose it.
That was Kenny Dalglish speaking ahead of today's Carling Cup final, with only 9 minutes now remaining until the big kick-off. Of course, there's been Premier League fixtures underway today. It's currently Stoke 2, Swansea 0. That's a later scoreline, but there's been 2 full times. We're now going to cross over to Nigel Bidmead, who's at the Emirates Stadium, where Arsenal have played North London rivals Spurs.
Arsenal 5, Spurs 2. Arsenal came back from 2-0 down to score 5 without reply in yet another classic North London derby. Saha and Adebayor from a dodgy penalty put Spurs 2-0 up just after the half hour, but then the visitors were buried under an avalanche of Arsenal goals. Sanya with a header and Van Persie with a curler made it 2-2 at the break. Then Radzicki and Walcott, all crafty finishes, completed an incredible turnaround, and right at the end Spurs had Parker sent off for a second yellow card offence. Final score, Arsenal 5, Spurs 2.
And the other earlier kick-off in the Premier League, Norwich versus Man United, has also finished, and we're going to head over to Carrow Road now.
Manchester United leave Carrow Road with all 3 points this afternoon after the late show. Ryan Giggs popping up to win it for Manchester United in the last minute of injury time. 2-1 to Manchester United after Paul Scholes had put them in front after the 7 minutes. Then, inside the last 10, Grant Holt had levelled things for Norwich. They really did think they were going to leave for a point, but that man again, Ryan Giggs, popping up and scoring at the far post. Norwich City 1, Manchester United 2.
A late goal from Ryan Giggs there, by the sounds of it. Just quickly ask Chris Ormer's opinion whilst I've got him here in the studio. Yet again, Man United not having the most comfortable game, but just managing to pull out the full stops at the very end of the match.
Same old, isn't it? What they've been doing since the Premier League started in 1992. To be honest, it's they have games where they aren't playing to the full potential, but they've always got and have always had that ability to win, no matter what. They've got that ability to pull out the goal when they need it, no matter how badly they're playing. Proving it today, and it's one of the old boys who scored it, old Ryan Giggs, Mr. Reliable. What is it? 20 Premier League successive seasons, 23 or 24 for playing for Manchester United. Mr. Reliable, isn't it? It's what Alex Ferguson looks for when he's in them types of games, and United have taken all 3 points away today, back on the heels of Manchester City.
That's why he's often rated as Man United's greatest ever player in Man United fan opinion polls.
Well, he's played in every position. He's played as a winger and he's played as a midfielder, so what more can you ask for?
Okay, well, that's the Premier League fixtures over today. Of course, Stoke and Swansea are still playing. Stoke are currently leading in that game. We're just 2 quick fans now for the fact fans again out there. Cardiff City's Carling Cup adventure so far lasted 750 minutes, with 4 of their 7 matches going to extra time. 2 of their victories came courtesy of penalty shootouts, and the Bluebirds have beaten 1 Premier League side, 3 from the Championship, 1 from League 1 and 1 from League 2 to reach the final, whilst meanwhile Kenny Dalglish's men have overcome 3 Premier League clubs, one of them being Manchester City, current Premier League forerunners, 1 Championship side and a League 1 outfit to reach Wembley this season. Now, surely if we just look at those facts alone, Chris, not reflecting what actually happened in the games, Liverpool have had the much harder running.
Well, yeah, when you consider we played Manchester City and we went away at Chelsea and beat Chelsea 2-0 as well, we've had much tougher, but it's what you expect to win any competition. You have to beat the best teams to win it, and you know, Cardiff have got they've played well, they've got their own merit. Liverpool have had the harder run, but they've gotten through every test that's been put in front of them. The Manchester City game, the first leg was at the Etihad, was absolutely dire, but we took a 1-0 win. Manchester City should have scored in that game, but Liverpool got the early goal and sat back. The second leg at Anfield was a typical cup tie, and I think it was me and yourself who covered it, Chris, that midweek game. That was probably one of the better games we've done on Radio Broadgreen Sport, that 2-2 draw. Liverpool it means nothing. I have to say it means nothing. Just because Liverpool have had the harder running, it means nothing when you come to a cup final. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. It's all about how the teams go out there, how they've been prepared, and how their mindset is when they step onto that pitch. And hopefully, with it being Wembley, they'll both go at it hammer and tongs, to be honest. And just quickly as well, who do you think will be Cardiff's danger man who will pose the most threat to Liverpool today? Kenny Miller. He's a proven goal scorer. Yeah, his time in Turkey didn't work so well, and he scored a lot in Scotland, and the old joke is, anyone can score in Scotland. It's that type of league, but he's still a very dangerous player. When you've got Kenny Miller there, he can score goals wherever he is. And I think Peter Whittingham as well. He'll be quite a tough adversary for Liverpool to look at, but you can't look further than Kenny Miller, to be honest. If Kenny Miller gets any kind of opportunity, it'll at least be on target, if not in the back of the net. So he's the one player you have to be wary about. There's another opportunity for both of them to maybe put themselves in the shop window as well, and maybe get back into the Premier League in their later playing days. Well, maybe. Maybe Peter Whittingham, I can't see it with Kenny Miller, to be honest. Kenny Miller, after the time he had in Turkey, he's just happy to be back over here playing, to be honest. So I think it is, I do agree, it is a good shop window, but it's all about today for them, and all they'll want is the goals to win them the cup.
Well, absolutely. It's a big, monumentous occasion between the two sides, and I don't think anyone will realise what such a big day it is more than Craig Bellamy, because we caught up with the Liverpool striker to find out his feelings about playing against Cardiff City, or his hometown club, and whether he would celebrate a goal should he score today.
You know, it will be a strange situation because it's the first time I've ever played him. It's not something I've really looked forward to doing, to be honest. You know, my father's a Cardiff fan. You know, my family obviously, you know, it's the club I used to go to when I was very young. I set one ambition in my life. I wanted to play for them. I was able to do that. And it's just funny how football can work out at times. I'll find out more on the day, but look, you know, I've got to be involved, and you know, I might not be on the pitch, so you know, I've got to see if I'm playing or see if I get on. So look, it's just another occasion for this incredible football club to add to the history and add to the medals and trophies we've already been able to amass over the years. So it's another great occasion for us, but an incredible occasion for Cardiff City.
What happens if you score? Are you going to celebrate? How's that going to be?
No, I certainly wouldn't. But I try not to against Man City, which I try to hold myself back. Which really, I didn't really celebrate. But the occasion and the moment sometimes you can get a little bit carried away with. But no, I certainly have no aspirations of doing that. But look, I've got to be on the pitch first and foremost before I even start thinking about scoring.
Craig Bellamy's feeling on playing against his hometown club, Cardiff City, and as Dan said earlier on, he'll be starting on the bench, so he could come on as a great impact player, and you never know, he may just end up scoring the winning goal. It's less than 2 minutes until kick-off now, so we're going to head over back to Wembley, where Dan Jameson may have news of the Cardiff City lineup, because it's about time they revealed who they're actually going to play today, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, we've just about got the team sheet handed to us here at Wembley. Cardiff, as expected, as we were saying before, line up as such. Tom Heaton does overcome his ankle problem. He starts in goal ahead of first choice David Marshall, who drops to the bench. They have a back four of Kevin McNaughton, captain Mark Hudson. He's passed his fitness test on a calf problem pre-match. Then there's Ben Turner and Andrew Taylor. In midfield, Don Cowie, Peter Whittingham, Aaron Gunnarsson and Rudy Kesteder. And up front, we have Joe Mason and that man, Kenny Miller. There's their subs, David Marshall, Anthony Gerrard, the cousin, as we've been saying, of Liverpool captain Stephen. Also Lee Naylor, Philip Kiss, Craig Conway, Darcy Blake and Rob Earnshaw. So pretty much as expected from Cardiff. No real surprises, except for Stephen McPhail, their vice-captain, has failed a late fitness test. He's been out with an immune system disorder, so he unfortunately has had to drop out completely. But good news for Cardiff, in both captain Hudson and goalkeeper Heaton both passing their late fitness tests. Liverpool, as we were saying before, run through the team very, very quickly. Pepe Reina in goal, a back four of Glenn Johnson, Martin Skirtle, Daniel Agger and Jose Enrique. A midfield five with Jordan Henderson, Stephen Gerrard, Charlie Adams, Stuart Downing and Luis Suarez, and Andy Carroll up front. So main headlines there: Craig Bellamy only on the bench, as you were saying, against his old club. He's on the bench alongside Donny, the sub goalkeeper, Jamie Carragher, Jay Spearing, Dirk Kuyt, Martin Kelly and Maxi Rodriguez. Now the ball is in the centre circle here at Wembley. The teams are just about ready to kick off, going for the coin toss pre-match. You can bring in our summariser for the day. Chris Orme has joined me in the commentary gantry. Hello, Chris. Good afternoon.
I'm very nervous now.
Very nervous. A very, very nervous Chris Orme. How do you see the game going today? We've heard the two goalkeeper, Jamie Carragher, Jay Spearing, Dirk Kuyt, Martin Kelly and Maxi Rodriguez. Now the ball is in the centre circle here at Wembley. The teams are just about ready to kick off, going for the coin toss pre-match. You can bring in our summariser for the day. Chris Orme has joined me in the commentary gantry. Hello, Chris. Good afternoon.
I'm very nervous now.
Very nervous. A very, very nervous Chris Orme. How do you see the game going today? We've heard the two teams being read out here. Surely is this Liverpool side strong enough to beat this Cardiff team today?
Well, you'd assume so, but then the biggest problem you've got with that is Liverpool don't seem to play very well when they play non-top league opposition in finals. I think the last couple of times they've done it, they've struggled, and the last time against Birmingham, Liverpool only just won on penalties. So it was quite a tough game, and in that game, Birmingham deserved the win.
Exactly. I mean, this is the third time that Liverpool have played lower league opposition in the Carling Cup final. They've won on all three occasions, against West Ham in 1981, Bolton in 1995 and Birmingham there in 2001. They're going for their 8th win overall, so could turn out that half of their wins have been against lower league opposition. It
seems to always happen when it comes to the Carling Cup. The Carling Cup, because a lot of the top clubs don't seem to take it as seriously as the rest. It's not one where you're guaranteed an all top league final. But then again, Cardiff have proved by getting to the FA Cup final that they do like the cup competitions. So.
Exactly, and this is, of course, Cardiff's 4th trip to Wembley in 5 years, so they have the Wembley form. Liverpool haven't been, as we've been saying in the build-up, since 1996. It's a very long time. It's a big stage for these Liverpool players today.
It certainly is, and when you look at it, when they had all the cup finals in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, that was classed as Liverpool's second home. I think you could probably class the new Wembley as Cardiff's second home now as well.
Well, the only problem is they have only won on one occasion, and that was the FA Cup semi-final a few years ago. Cardiff have won the toss. They're kicking off today, playing from left to right in their traditional blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Liverpool playing from right to left in their all red strip, and Liverpool already have the ball down with Glenn Johnson and have won a throw-in deep inside their own half. Do you think Cardiff are going to come out very quick and hard in this game?
Well, looking at the way they've lined up, that's the most, and looking through the stats, that's the most attacking lineup Malky Mackay's played all season. So it's the first time this year he's played with more than one attacker. Playing up front.
3 strikers on the pitch, Kostelnik, Miller and Mason.
So he's going for it, but then again, Cardiff have got nothing to lose. Do you know what I mean? All the pressure's on Liverpool with them being a top flight team.
Exactly, and Liverpool are settling into this game rather well here, keeping the ball. And having said that, commentators curse Luis Suarez has just put it out for a Cardiff City throw-in. Our referee today is Mark Clattenburg, and his assistant Simon Beck and Mick McDonough. Mark Clattenburg, do we have any opinions on him?
From a Liverpool perspective, he's not that bad, but he's known to be very inconsistent. He does like showing a red card now and again, but then you've had games where he hasn't done enough.
Exactly. Cardiff crossing the ball in through Taylor in towards Gosted, who's a big fella, but Martin Skirtle won the header, and oh dear me, Jordan Henderson miscontrolled it, and Cardiff have the ball again on the left hand side. Just on the edge of the penalty area, Gunnarsson cuts inside onto his right foot, tries to play the ball through to Miller, and Liverpool have the ball and could attack here through Steven Gerrard, driving across the halfway line. There's men over here if you can find them on the left. Gerrard finds Downing up against the full-back, knocks it back towards Glenn Johnson, who's joined up and goes to the goal. Oh, he's hit the bar. Glenn Johnson hits the bar from the edge of the box. Gerrard on the follow-up, and he puts it over. That was very nearly a fantastic goal from Liverpool within 2 minutes of the start.
Glenn Johnson is starting on the right wing. He's cut across onto the left hand side, and that is such a good effort, just from about 20 yards out, and he's just hasn't got it underneath the bar enough. It's bounced out, and Steven Gerrard blazed it over. But what a great start that would have been.
It's a very good start from Liverpool. Gerrard making one of those driving runs as we were talking about, plays it in onto the right, onto the left hand side. Johnson cuts onto his right foot. We know he's good from range, and he's rattled the bar with Tom Heaton. I'm not sure he'd have covered that if it was on target. It was heading straight towards the top corner. A superb curling effort from Glenn Johnson, just hitting the underside of the bar and bouncing almost to safety for Cardiff, and nearly scare them for the Bluebirds.
It looks like Liverpool have settled better, but it really looks like with that formation it's going to be quite an open game.
It's a very open game indeed. Liverpool making the most of the space in midfield. Cardiff have committed far too many men forwards, and Gerrard almost made them pay with a fantastic run from midfield. Cardiff keep the ball though now, trying to maybe get a foot on the ball, looking for Gosted through the middle. The ball runs through to Pepe Reina. He's an interesting fellow, Rudy Gosted, born in Atlanta, Georgia. He's said he wants to play for America, although he is played for the French youth setup. He's a very big fella. Scored in the penalty shootouts against both Leicester and Crystal Palace on the route to the final. He could well be the sort of focal point for Cardiff today.
He's going to be similar to it's Cardiff version of Andy Carroll, sort of, because we know what kind of game you get with Andy Carroll. You go up, Andy Carroll bashes them about a bit and hoping for the knockdowns, but he's got a bit of muscle on him as well, and the touches he's had so far have been reasonably good.
He's one to watch. He'll certainly give Agger and Skirtle. They'll know they've been in a game after coming up against him. Cardiff with the throw-in, really struggling to keep the ball in this early part. Cardiff City, which Liverpool certainly won't mind. They have the ball in the right back position with Glenn Johnson. Just lets it go across the back four to Skirtle. He can try and build forwards again. Johnson again. He might turn out to be a very key performer for Liverpool today. He's seen a lot of the ball early on, and he can really attack the left-hand side of Cardiff's defence. Just as Suarez almost burst through the Cardiff midfield. They've got it back, the Welsh side. This is Whittingham, just inside the Cardiff half, spending it wide to the left, and Cardiff are forced back again to Ben Turner, who just goes long and straight out of play. Cardiff looking a little bit ropey already.
A bit of big match nerves, it looks like, for Cardiff. They are struggling quite a lot to keep hold of the ball, whereas Liverpool seem to be quite free and flowing, and Glenn Johnson's all over the pitch at the minute. He really is. He's back at right back now, but when he had that shot from left, he's now running through the midfield. It seems to be all Liverpool at the minute.
It certainly is, and surprising Cardiff with the big game nerves, given how many times they've been to Wembley, and almost a chance there for Liverpool just as Jordan Henderson crosses a ball in and Andy Carroll flicks a header over the bar, although I think he's had the foul given against him for a push on one of the Cardiff defenders, although there wasn't a lot in that.
No, I think Andy Carroll needs to at least get that on target. That's just skewed way over the bar.
With an excellent goal last week against Brighton and Hove Albion in the FA Cup. Surely he's the man with form. We could really do with him having a good game today. Maybe finally prove it was worth that massive transfer fee,
which some might say was overinflated.
Perhaps more harsh people would say that, Chris. We've certainly given him a hard time, haven't we, this season?
Well, some of his performances have actually, they've been that bad, but there has been kind of sparks over the last few games about him getting into a little bit of form. So, we can, as a Liverpool fan, you can only hope.
Exactly, and Liverpool resisting the temptation to go long as yet. They're passing it around. Then Rique, who looks with the outside of the foot. That's an excellent ball to Downing. Can he keep it in? He's round McNaughton. He's gone back onto his left hand side, and his low cross was put behind by captain Mark Hudson. It's a corner to Liverpool. 6 minutes gone, and Liverpool have the first corner of the game on this near side. But plenty men forwards. There's a lot of height in this Liverpool side, although this season they've not really made corners count. Skirtle and Agger both up there. Suarez buzzing about as he does. And a chance here for Liverpool early on in the game. Gerrard to take on this near side, right-footed. Runs up to the ball, whips it in towards the goalkeeper. Header from Carroll and just over the bar, and it's another corner. It took a flick off a Cardiff player. Another corner from the opposite side. Liverpool's right-hand side. Plenty men staying forwards.
Liverpool have got the height advantage here, but we've had that all season, and it just doesn't seem to. They don't seem to do that well at corners. And one of the problems has been the man taking the corner now.
Yeah, Charlie Adam is going to take this one with his left hand, with his left foot towards the back post. Skirtle nods it back across goal, and it's straight into the arms of Tom Heaton. A poor delivery again from Charlie Adam. That's been a running theme this season.
Yeah, it's been his Achilles heel. He's got a great left foot, but when it comes to corners, he either hits the first man or completely misses everyone in the box.
As he did there, really. It was far too deep, really, for Skirtle. He was almost on the goal line when he won the header. Couldn't really do anything with it. Cardiff, though, can attack now with on the right hand side, and Gunnarsson. To be fair, Stuart Downing's done very well there to outstrength him almost. To let the ball run out for a throw. I'm not seeing that from Stuart Downing too often.
I don't know what it is. It must be nerves, because the touch of some of the Cardiff players has been absolutely terrible, and it's like they're getting the ball and they're panicking. They don't know what to do with it.
Well, Liverpool are closing down very, very well, and Gunnarsson can try and look for Kenny Miller in the middle again, but Skirtle manages to thump the ball downfield onto the left hand side. Suarez is chasing Hudson. He tidies up very well, and Cardiff have the ball again, can recycle possession. Turner goes long looking for Gusted, and he very nearly won the header against Daniel Agger. Well, neither of them got a touch on the ball. Enrique can tidy things up for Liverpool, and back to the goalkeeper in Pepe Reina. A good start from Liverpool though so far. One very, very good chance from Glenn Johnson. Cardiff haven't really had any possession in the Liverpool half so far.
That's what they need. It's a very attacking lineup, and it seems they just want to push forward in waves and waves and waves, but at the minute they just need to get a bit of time on the ball, just a bit of possession to try and settle them down.
Very little composure from Cardiff. They've given a foul away on Suarez. It was Turner who just went through the back of him a little bit, and Liverpool have a free kick just inside the Cardiff half. It was a late challenge really from Turner. That might be a little sighter, letting him know he's here. Liverpool's taking it short. Gerrard has the ball 40 yards out from goal, plays in Downing on his right foot, cutting in, goes for goal, and it's blocked by the Cardiff defender, and they're almost on the attack, but Johnson wins the ball back only for momentarily, and Cardiff have it back with Anthony Taylor, and they win a throw in. Not particularly good use of the free kick there. It was a decent position. They decided to take it short, Liverpool, and it didn't really come to anything. Downing's right-footed shot was rather weak.
Yeah, he's not. I think that proves he's not right-footed at all, Stuart Down. That was it's a bit of a scuffed shot. It's straight along the floor, straight to the defender in front of him, easily cleared away.
Cardiff can try and look for the ball over the top. Whittingham is playing very deep. I'm quite surprised at this. He's very much a goal-scoring midfielder. He top scored in the Championship a couple of years ago with I think 23 goals. Seems to be playing more of a holding role for Cardiff this season, allowing their Carling Cup top goal scorer Don Cowie to run forwards. And speaking of Cowie, here he is on the right hand side. McNaughton supporting just on the right hand side of the penalty area. Cowie again. Cardiff moving the ball very well here. Whittingham has it now. They've been forced all the way back though towards the halfway line, and Taylor now on the left hand side, 30-40 yards out from goal. Cardiff have found a lovely ball in here, lovely little flick. Miller on the turn, fires it over. That was a fantastic move from Cardiff on the left hand side. Taylor and Whittingham combining to find a lovely little ball in towards Cowie, who made the run. There's a little flick around the corner, found Miller left-footed inside the penalty area, but he lifted his shot way over the bar. Encouraging signs from Cardiff.
Big warning for Liverpool: you cannot give Kenny Miller any kind of sighters or that. If that was a bit further into the game, that would have been bulging the back of the net, so Liverpool need to keep an eye on him.
Exactly. Liverpool though trying to attack on their own left hand side with Enrique. Gerrard though forced into the little ball into Suarez in the centre of the field, and they've been forced all the way back now from some good Cardiff pressure to Martin Skirtle inside the Liverpool half. He finds Henderson on the right touchline. Back to Gerrard. Liverpool knocking about in the midfield very well. Suarez on the half turn, just outside the box, left-footed shots blocked by the Cardiff defenders, and Cardiff can try and break here with Gunnarsson, who's fouled by Charlie Adam. And he's done very well there to relieve the pressure. Almost Suarez unlocking the Cardiff defence. Just a lovely little ball in from Gerrard on the half turn. This shot was blocked again from Cardiff.
Bit of a harsh decision. Charlie Adam did get the ball there, but I get the feeling that's not the first time we're going to have to say it's the foul given away by Charlie Adam.
He's not renowned for his tackling ability. It's one of those from Cardiff. Gunnarsson just went down fairly easily to relieve the pressure. He did very well. And Heaton can take the free kick very long, and Gested won the header, and it almost broke for Miller in the penalty area. Liverpool tidy up through Enrique, but again Gested causing all sorts of problems for Agger and Skirtle. Speaking of that, Liverpool's own Gested has won the ball in Carroll, and he's played it wide. Henderson now knocks it back towards Gerrard, tries to whip a ball into, looking for Carroll. Oh dear me, looking for Carroll. It was miles over him. Downing was coming in at the back post and forced McNaughton into clearing the ball behind his own touchline, so it's another corner on this near side. Downing standing over it, and he's not renowned for his corner taking ability either.
Not at all.
He's going to take this left footed and out swinger, waiting for the big men to join the attack. Downing takes it towards the back of the post, and Andy Carroll fouls a silly foul really, a push in the back of the Cardiff City defender just on the penalty spot. There was no real need to do that.
That's as blatant a push as you're ever going to see from Andy Carroll, and he's having words with the referee about it. There's no words you can have. That's a foul.
It's such a poor decision from Andy Carroll, because again, just like the Charlie Adam foul a few moments ago, it allows Cardiff to just relieve that pressure, and Liverpool have to start all over again. Still goalless though here at Wembley, just coming up to 13 minutes gone. Cardiff 0, Liverpool 0. The Carling Cup final live here on Radio Broadgreen and the Merseyside Hospitals Football Network. Liverpool winning a throw-in deep inside their own half. Cardiff again couldn't make the ball stick up front, looking for Gested, who's had a decent start to the game, won a few headers. up against the Liverpool back four. Nothing came of it for Cardiff, and Liverpool can recycle possession again in their own half. Johnson out to Henderson playing the 1-2. Liverpool looking perhaps a little bit patient, more of a thought out build-up play here.
I think that's more to do with the fact that Cardiff have actually finally settled down, and they're pressing well. They're not worried about possession, but they are keeping the ball when they get it, compared to the first half, the first few minutes I should say, where they didn't really know what to do. They couldn't settle at all, but it seems now they've settled down, they know what they're doing, and they're doing a lot of pressing and putting a lot of pressure on Liverpool.
Liverpool can't really find space, although Stuart Downing's found so about 30 yards out from goal. Looks for the 1-2. With Henderson, his ball was almost through to Downing in the penalty area, but Cardiff can clear it away. And the long ball towards Gusted again, straight out of play on the far side for a Liverpool throw in. That does seem to be a tactic from Cardiff today. Liverpool going for the more sort of patient build. At Cardiff not hesitating to look long for Gusted, who's a big fella, about 6'4", and like you say, he's a solid unit.
Maybe that's why they have got the three strikers on the pitch. They're looking for the knockdowns, they're looking for the knock-ons, they're looking for Gusted to give the Liverpool defence a bit of a hard time, and allowing people like Kenny Miller to get through in the little spaces that he leaves.
Yeah, as much as they are playing three strikers, Joe Mason is almost playing as a right winger, and Kenny Miller's joining the midfield quite a lot. But Liverpool, there's a lot of men back behind the ball for Cardiff here on this Liverpool attack. Suarez tries to find Gerrard on the edge of the box, and the ball was just behind him, but Liverpool can keep the pressure on. Charlie Adam, 40 yards out from goal, looks in towards Carroll with the knockdown. Suarez is buzzing around. His header is wide of the far post, but encouraging signs there. A good ball in from Charlie Adam. Carroll couldn't quite get the connection that he required.
See, that's the kind of thing Liverpool can do. But when Andy Carroll first signed, they were relying on that a little bit too much. As we've seen, that's probably the first time they've actually done a long ball to try and find Andy Carroll. They've been very, very patient. It's good to have every now and again, as long as you don't rely on it.
Well, that was one of the problems last week against Brighton, with Carroll and Suarez both starting. They didn't quite know whether to go long for Carroll or look maybe for the shorter balls in and around the penalty area that Suarez thrives on.
Most definitely. It's a lot about settling in, and I think when Andy Carroll signed for Liverpool, they weren't sure how best to play him. Now they've got Steven Gerrard back, getting back to fitness. They've got someone who can supply Andy Carroll, whether it be in the air or along the floor.
Exactly, and Liverpool playing it along the floor a little bit more now, but get some excellent pressing from Cardiff. McNaughton was almost in the striker position there, following Stuart Downing across the pitch, and Cardiff almost won the ball back in the centre circle. Liverpool have it back though with Adam. Steven Gerrard looking out towards the right hand side, where Johnson has bombed forwards. If he can just keep this ball in, not quite, and it runs out for a Cardiff goal kick on the far side. Very nearly Johnson was almost in there with one of those Gerrard Hollywood balls out to the right hand side, just to put a little bit too much on it. The turf is very, very slick at Wembley today. None of the problems that we saw in the early Wembley finals with.
I think they must have replaced the pitch about 7 or 8 times now, and whatever they've done, they finally found a situation. As for Glenn Johnson, he's been the star player so far. He's been all over the pitch. He's been in tackling, he's been bombing forward, he's been defending well. He's been playing pretty well, and he's not even sticking to that right hand side. He's literally wandering all over the pitch wherever the team needs.
He's roving absolutely everywhere. That's maybe what Liverpool need, a bit of an unorthodox approach from Johnson today, because he's up against a left back in Andrew Taylor, who he was bombed out by Middlesbrough. Really, a couple of Premier League appearances, but injuries took their toll, and he'll certainly be up against a bit of a test with him. And Suarez is also in the early part of this game looking like he wants to try and play on the fullbacks a little bit. And speaking of which, Enrique on the ball on the left hand side for Liverpool, trying to look down the line. Suarez had made the run, but Liverpool are forced all the way back to Agger, well inside the Liverpool half. Plays a nice ball on the ground to Henderson, who's in the attacking midfield position. Henderson looked to shoot, decided against it and spreads it wide to Johnson on the right hand side. Back to Henderson, looking inside for Suarez. Lovely little football here from Liverpool. Suarez inside the box on the right hand side, looks for the little clip ball towards Carroll with the header, and Tom Heaton just about keeps that out with his right hand. It was a lovely little football on the right hand side from Liverpool there, ending with the header from Carroll. Again, couldn't really test the goalkeeper too much.
That's the second time a Liverpool player's been in a position to strike one from 20-25 yards, and they've decided against it. Stuart Downham was in a great position to do it before and didn't, and Jordan Henson's just been in that same position. Well,
Cardiff here on the attack. Gested was trying to find Kenny Miller. The ball is tossed back in from McNaughton, cleared though by Liverpool, only as far as McNaughton himself. Kenny Miller on the edge of the box, lovely ball, Mason through the legs of Pepe Reina, and Cardiff take the lead. 19 minutes gone and Joe Mason has scored for Cardiff. They lead by 1-0. It was an excellent move from Cardiff. Liverpool could not clear their lines, and Kenny Miller turns provider for Cardiff.
Great goal, absolutely great goal, great skill. They've been under the cosh, Cardiff, for the last 10 minutes or so, but it's a great ball in. Liverpool failed to clear it, straight back out, and it's a great finish. That ball from Kenny Miller is Joe
Mason he pulls off Daniel Agger, who's marking him, and Kenny Miller finds with a lovely slide rule pass on the right hand side of the penalty area, and he slots it straight through the legs of Reina, about 6 yards out. It's an excellent finish from the young man, and surprise could be on. Cardiff City 1, Liverpool 0. 90 minutes played at Wembley.
I don't know what Daniel Agger was doing there, why he came flying. It was following the ball, he left his man, and it was, there was nothing anyone else could do. It was a great finish though, and great vision from Kenny Miller.
Excellent play from Cardiff, really, you have to say, and Liverpool up against it. We did say before the game, I think Cardiff might come out. They've not really. Liverpool have had all the possession, but Suarez's goal almost burst through. Was being jockeyed and shackled from the Cardiff defence. He tried to poke it through for Andy Carroll. Carroll didn't read for the first time, so they didn't read the intention of the pass, and it ran straight through for the Cardiff goalkeeper Tom Heaton. So Liverpool definitely up against it, and we're going to have to chase this game then.
Definitely going to have to chase it, but I don't think there's any real need to panic as yet, literally just because Liverpool have played so well. They've played so well in the first few minutes. They've been all over Cardiff, but yet again, as a cup football, Cardiff took the chances. One defensive slip from Daniel Agger, and Cardiff taking the lead.
Exactly, and it was a very, very nearly one there. Enrique nearly put the ball straight out of play for a Cardiff corner, as did Daniel Agger when he was trying to pass it back to Pepe Reina. Liverpool look a little bit rattled here. Cardiff, surely that will settle down the nerves. I mean, they have been under a lot of pressure without any real chances for Liverpool. They've ridden the storm, and when their chances come, they've taken it, which is exactly what you need to do, especially in one-off games like this.
They've got Liverpool rocked here because Liverpool's midfield can't get hold of the ball now, and Charlie Adams just had one touch, and the touch was awful straight back to a Cardiff player.
Well, Liverpool have in an advanced position. Suarez on the edge of the box, tackled very well by Gunnarsson. The ball rolls through to Heaton yet again. It seems very strange that every time Liverpool go forward, there's a roar from the Liverpool fans away to our right-hand side, but then it just seems to break down, get 20-25 yards away from goal, and they just can't find that killer ball.
No, same old. It's like we're playing at Anfield again, isn't it? It's that Liverpool can have all the possession they want, but they can't put the ball in the back of the net.
Exactly, and it's been a running problem for Liverpool this season. I thought maybe they turned a corner last week with all the goals against Brighton, as much as many of them were scored by Brighton themselves.
Yeah, just the 3.
But anyway, Agger stepping out of defence as he likes to do and trying to thrash it at goal, and a fantastic block from captain Mark Hudson. But Agger there stepping out as he likes to do in the sort of Beckenbauer style from defence.
Just got that possession stat there we've just been given shows what it's been like this first half.
65% for Liverpool, only 35 for Cardiff, but it's not how much you have, it's what you do with it. Downing though hits the byline and puts a low cross in towards Henderson. Was running in from the right wing, and it's cleared away from Whittingham, I think, in the Cardiff back line, and another throw in for Liverpool. Enrique's going to take it just about 25 yards out from goal, looks for Suarez, who brings it down. Well, he's being fouled surely by Mason, and it's put behind. I thought that was put behind by McNaughton. Apparently the referee has seen something different.
I think Luis Suarez has been a bit too honest there. I think if he would have went down, because the defender did have his arms all over him, he was holding on. If he would have went down, but he kept holding the ball, kept going on, and if you look, it did just come off Suarez last.
Just about. I have to say, it was Aaron Gunnarsson who was marking Suarez from the throw-in. Suarez sort of he chested it down and backed in towards Gunnarsson, but he had his arms all around him. It wouldn't be that wouldn't honestly. No word of a lie, that wouldn't be out of place on BBC Two right now, where Scotland are playing France in the rugby.
I think that's your typical. If that's anywhere else on the pitch, it would have been a foul.
Exactly, and it would have been, if it had been given, it would have been a penalty. It was just inside the Cardiff penalty area, so maybe Mr. Klassenberg should be maybe in the back of his mind, or think he might have made a mistake there.
Normally when referees do make mistakes, they do like to even things up further down the line, so no need to pat. Liverpool just need to put a bit of possession together. At the minute they just seem to Cardiff have got them rattled. They really have got them rattled.
And there's no real need for Cardiff to force through. Carroll has flicked one through for Suarez there. Carroll lashes at it with his left foot from 20 yards out, miles over. It was just a long ball punted forward from Agger. Carroll won the header, flicked it towards Suarez, who was on the edge of the box. He couldn't quite fashion a shooting chance, knocked it back for Andy Carroll, who just fly hacks it miles into the Cardiff City fans.
I think that shot would have been better on BBC Two as well, to be honest, looking at the height that went over the goal.
Unfortunately, Andy Carroll's playing the wrong sport today here at Wembley. As much as that would have been, we would have taken the extra points there, wouldn't we, from the conversion?
Yeah. Liverpool just, since the goal, Liverpool seem to have done a lot of long balls up and hoping for the knockdown, which is not what they were doing at the start when they were playing well.
No, they were getting a lot of joy, especially down the left-hand side. The interchanges between Suarez when he was drifting out to that wing, Johnson when he was getting forwards, having a lot of joy down that side. But again, it does seem to be when they sort of panic and go, they resort automatically to going long.
Yeah, most that's the biggest problem Liverpool have had in the last few games, and they didn't start by doing that, but a little bit of pressure, and they're struggling.
There's a bit of pressure building here from Downing as backheeled it into Enrique, who's on the edge of the penalty area on this left-hand side. Enrique knocks it back for Suarez on the edge of the box, looks for Carroll at the back post. He's onside, knocks it back for Johnson. Looking on the right-hand side, looking for another little ball in, like very similar position to where Kenny Miller knocked it through for Mason just a few moments ago for the Cardiff City goal. But Cardiff close it out with some excellent pressure again.
He was looking for the magic ball there, Glenn Johnson, where if he would have actually looked up, Liverpool had at least three or four men in the box. A cross would have been better, but it was just looking for that magic ball, exactly the same as what Kenny Miller did before.
Some encouraging signs though down the left-hand side, just in the build-up to that. Stuart Downing, as he so often did for Aston Villa, we've yet to really see him in a red shirt just knock the ball past to the full-back and absolutely annihilated him for pace. He was round him as if he wasn't there. Kevin McNaughton, who's perhaps not the most mobile of full-backs.
No, not at all. But that's what you've got to do. Stuart Downing's there for a reason. He's there for his pace and he's there for his crossing. We just haven't seen them together in the same match yet for Liverpool. So hopefully he's shown the pace. He's just proven he can get past the defender. So he just needs to concentrate and do it a bit more.
Cardiff are on the attack again, looking for a little clip ball in towards that goal. The goal scorer Mason again. He just about ran too far for him into the hands of Pepe Reina, but Liverpool are conceding a lot of possession and territory. As we say, that Reina's long clearance has found Suarez, who turned his man. But look at that, there's 8 Cardiff players behind the ball then, and only 2 Liverpool players.
Completely the wrong option. He was going for the nutmeg pass, Luis Suarez.
And I was saying that Mason's on the run here again on the left-hand side. He's taken it past Gerrard in the midfield, and he's managed to find Whittingham, who flicks it from long range with his left foot, blocked by Suarez. Gerrard can't quite find the pass into midfield, and Cardiff have just knocked it out for a throw-in on this near side. You can hear the frustrated noises of the Liverpool fans there away to our right-hand side. It's not going as planned at all.
The little bit of frustration has started to creep in, and it's just probably down to the fact how well Liverpool have played, but the 1-0 down. That can be all it is. There's nothing to worry about yet because Liverpool aren't playing badly. Cardiff have just literally rocked up and taken the one chance they've been given.
Exactly, and if you look at the substitutes bench for Liverpool, obviously one name does stand out. There's a couple of other real attacking threats. Dirk Kuyt, Maxi Rodriguez. There are some goals in the Liverpool bench today, not to mention young Mr. Bellamy.
Yeah, he was. I think when we were talking about it beforehand, we had Craig Bellamy as a nailed-on starter, and for whatever reason, Kenny Dalglish has decided it's not the right time to start Craig Bellamy. But as an impact player, I don't think you could have anyone better.
Exactly, especially in this game, playing against this team in Cardiff City. Liverpool have the ball again. They've just almost put themselves into a little bit of pressure. Agger was under a lot of pressure from Gested. Won a free kick just about, and Gerrard has found a lovely ball out to Downing on the left hand side. His low ball all the way across the 6-yard box from the left hand side. It was one of the crosses that really we expected to see from Stuart Downing when he signed in the summer. Not really seen many this season. He didn't have to beat the fullback. An excellent low ball, just nobody attacking it yet again.
Yeah, nobody in the box. Andy Carroll was just getting into the box, but it was nobody anywhere near the 6-yard line for that one. Great cross. Just no one thought that was where it was going to go. And
as with many things to do with Andy Carroll this season, just a little bit too slow. But having said that, through sheer accident, he was almost in on goal. It was down his ball in towards Suarez. I'm not quite sure who got a touch. It was between him and a Cardiff City player, and it almost ran straight through the Cardiff back four to Carroll, who was just about onside. But instead, it ran all the way through to the Cardiff goalkeeper, who was very quickly out off his line. But that was almost a completely accidental chance.
It looked like it was miscontrolled by Luis Suarez, and it nearly just rolled through for Andy Carroll in the box.
He said that the form that Andy Carroll's showing, you wouldn't put money on him to score, would you?
No, not but he's played better the last few games, but Martin Skrtel is having an absolutely awful time against Gested. He's having an absolutely awful time whatsoever.
It's not surprising, really. I mean, we've said Gested is about 6'4". Skrtel, as much as he's good in the air, he's not the tallest of men.
No.
He's lost out on a lot of headers so far in this early part of the game, in the first half hour, and surely that will give a lot of positivity to Cardiff and Malky Mackay, because they've got a ready-made slingshot here, taking the throw in Aaron Gunnarsson, and they're going to just look straight for Gested again. Carroll's back there with this. Well, I think Chris is surprised there by the long throw. He's the Championship's own Icelandic's Rory Delap, Aaron Gunnarsson. He has one heck of a throw on him. But from that, Liverpool are attacking on the left-hand side. Enrique cuts inside onto his right foot, edge of the box, looks for the curler, and that's a long way wide and far too high. Interesting counter-attack though from the monster throw from Gunnarsson, but it was Liverpool who came out with the ball.
But yet again, if you look, Cardiff had at least 7 people in the box, so there was nowhere for Liverpool to go other than Jose Enrique taking a shot on his weaker foot. Maybe thinking he can do better than Glenn Johnson, but not with that effort.
Just go one better, not quite for Jose Enrique. Still half an hour gone though, Cardiff leading by 1-0 at Joe Mason goal after 19 minutes. Probably completely against the run of play. Cardiff certainly won't mind the Welsh support on our left. In fine voice so far, but there's noise coming from our right, and the Liverpool fans as Downing runs at the Cardiff City defence. Suarez spins it out wide to Johnson on the right hand side. Cardiff this is the problem Liverpool are having. They're building up very slowly. Cardiff have got a lot of men back. Everybody but Gested is behind the ball. And Suarez, he's won the ball back though, and that looked like a handball possibly. Gerrard tried to cross the ball in on the right hand side. It looked like there might have been a handball on the left from Andrew Taylor. The referee hasn't decided to give it, but Liverpool maybe giving a little bit more impetus here. Gerrard has the ball, knocks it into Henderson on the half turn, 20 yards out from goal, and he's looking for Adams on the turn, and the shots from Charlie Adam, 25 yards out, centre of the goal, just beat the left hand post Tom Heaton, but the goalkeeper was beaten there. Looking at Henderson's cross, perhaps you have seen these given, but it would be extremely harsh to give that as a penalty kick. But again, probably two chances there for Liverpool. Charlie Adam, that was very, very close. You can hear Chris's disappointment there in his voice.
There was no way the referee could have given that penalty decision from where he was situated. It was all down to the linesman, and the linesman wasn't interested one bit. Charlie Adam, it seemed to scuff that shot, but it was just wide of the post.
Just about here, of course. He does have Wembley form. He captained Blackpool a couple of years ago in their playoff final. He scored as well in a 3-2 win. So he's one of the few actually here with Wembley form in the Liverpool team.
Probably because he's probably the only one in the Liverpool team who's played at this new Wembley.
Well, he is in the whole team. There's only really Charlie Adam with any real Wembley experience. There's not many players actually who have experience of winning the League Cup either. I mean, and one of them is third choice goalkeeper Brad Jones with Middlesbrough in 2004
when Steve McLaren was in charge,
and one of his teammates was of course Stuart Downing. The only other players who have won it is of course Gerrard and Carragher, have been here for long enough to remember what it's like to win a trophy.
It's so compact. It's so compact at the minute. Every time Liverpool have the ball, Cardiff have got at least 3 or 4 men around each Liverpool player, but Cardiff aren't really pushing forward. They've got the goal. They're now quite happy to soak up the pressure and see what happens. They're giving Liverpool absolutely no options whatsoever.
The onus is all on Liverpool, really. They've got the lead. They're happy to sit back, like you say, Chris. Just really, really stay compact, close all the Liverpool players down. You have to say, though, will they be able to keep this pace up? Because they do play a lot more games in the Championship than in the Premier League. So is fitness going to be an issue?
I wouldn't have thought so, to be honest, because they're prepared and they're ready to play. They would have been playing a league game this week anyway if they hadn't have been in the final, so it's not like it's an extra game on top. It will be later on in the season maybe, but
Enrique on the rampage from left back finds Carroll, knocks it back to Gerrard, acting as the attacking fulcrum, spreads it wide. Glenn Johnson looks for the cross in towards Carroll. It's over him and McNaughton heads it away. Adam, though, can keep the pressure on this left hand side, looking back in towards Carroll. It's a decent ball in and a skewed clearance really from Mark Hodgson. Very, very strange off his knee. Forces Gunnarsson to nod it behind for another Liverpool corner. Pressure building for the Reds here at Wembley. 10 minutes to go till half time. This will be an excellent time to score. Liverpool have a corner on this near side. Cardiff still lead by a goal to nil. All the big men are up. Carroll, Skirtle, Agger, all looking to try and maybe find some header from the corner from this near side. It's going to be swinging in towards the goalkeeper. It should be awkward to deal with for the Cardiff players, although they do have a lot of big men there. Gerrard knocks it in and Heaton came out and flapped at it a little bit, but he did manage to clear it away. Downing, though, keeps it on the right hand side, up against the fullback, cuts into his left hand side, puts the ball in, and Carroll was almost there and has given away a free kick on the edge of the box as Martin Skirtle tried to rescue the situation for a high foot. But again, corner pretty much wasted.
Liverpool have got such a height advantage. You've got Andy Carroll, Daniel Agger, Martin Skirtle, all of them in the box ready to go. You've got Luis Suarez loitering for any knockdowns and that, and it never ever comes to anything.
No, I mean, I have to say, I think I was a little bit harsh on Tom Heaton there. He didn't so much flap at that. It was an excellent punch. Came all the way through the crowd of players and pretty much got it all the way away from danger. But again, Cardiff won a cheap free kick and the pressure is lifted. They'll be delighted to get to half time, a goal up.
This would be on the wildest dreams. They would have been happy for any kind of draw at half time, but to take a lead in, and considering the possession stats are still going to show Liverpool I would say into the low 60s for the half, it's a great result, and Cardiff will be quite happy, as we've seen, to just sit back, soak up the pressure and make Liverpool do all the running.
Exactly, and it's not really been too much to get excited about for Liverpool fans, bar that hitting the bar in the first minute. Maybe Steven Gerrard can change it. A little bit of trying to go for some small, short passes between Suarez, Enrique and Downing, but Suarez just overhears straight out for a throw-in on this near side for Cardiff, and again pressure has been lifted. Cardiff have the ball. They can attack on the left hand side, just coming over the centre line, and the ball towards Kenny Miller was cut out by Skirtle, and Gerrard's looking to release Suarez down the left hand side with a long ball. Just a little bit too much on it yet again.
Good try, good thought, but a little bit too much pace. But yet again, it's Liverpool going for the long balls and going for the hit and hopeful is what it feels like at sometimes. They've got the possession, just carry on and use it. Stop. There's no need to panic yet. There's still 50 odd minutes left to go in the match.
Liverpool owner John W. Henry is here with his wife up in the director's box watching on. He won't be happy with what he's seen so far. This could have been his first silverware since Fenway Sports Initiatives took over the club a couple of years ago. He certainly won't be impressed by his big money signing Andy Carroll up front. He's won a few headers, but rarely threatened really, although he may do here. Carroll on the edge of the box from Stuart Downing's knocked down, plays it to Suarez, lovely little ball through, and Carroll very, very nearly got on the end of it. And it was a magnificent touch from captain Mark Hudson there for Cardiff. Suarez and Carroll were very, very nearly played each other in there. It was lovely football on the edge of the box.
What a great tackle that was. It was just, if he didn't get that, it was a free run by Andy Carroll. What a tackle that was.
Absolutely magnificent. Carroll just plays a little 1-2 with Suarez just inside the box. Hudson behind Carroll goes with his wrong foot and just about flicks it away. It's very difficult to understate just how good that defending is. He's probably kept his team with the lead there. He definitely saved Cardiff, and they're on the attack again. They're not just sitting back, they fancy another goal here.
They do. They can see Liverpool are there for the taking. For all the possession, Liverpool aren't doing anything with it at the minute. They've had the odd opportunity, but there's Cardiff are playing that well, are getting so many men back and covering that the chances are few or far between for Liverpool.
They're trying to change that. Downing again. He's had a bit of a joy on this left-hand side up against McNaughton. He's put a few decent balls in, but again, he's so inconsistent, very hot and cold there. He just failed to beat his man completely and lost the ball.
And you can understand why there's nobody in the box for his crosses, because he is that inconsistent.
There could be one here, though. On the left-hand side, he's beaten the fullback, all ends up, clips it back towards Gerrard. Oh, he's just missed it. Oh, Henderson and Gerrard both had a chance from Downing's cross. He beat the fullback. He beat him twice, really. He could have whipped it on his right foot, decided to go for his left, and that was very nearly. It was Henderson who was rushing in towards the front post, completely miscued, and Gerrard didn't quite get his knee over it and put it straight over for a goal kick. Slightly more encouraging signs of this for Liverpool.
That was a tough chance for Steven Gerrard. Jordan Henderson's basically nutmegged himself on that one. He's gone with his left foot, completely missed it. It's gone right through past his right foot. It would have been a tough chance for Steven Gerrard to take.
Problems here for Liverpool, though. Enrique, I don't know what he was thinking. He's completely overran it in his right down in the left back position, and Kenny Miller jumped in, won the ball, and was fouled by Enrique. And Cardiff have a free kick in a very, very dangerous area with 5 minutes to go to half time. They still lead 1-0. Just about kept it in, Enrique, but only just to give it to Kenny Miller.
He did. I think Kenny Miller made a lot of that challenge, but it was poor control from Jose Enrique.
Very poor
control. And this would be one. If Cardiff score from here, this could be a killer blow.
It really could. It's right down in the right-hand corner on this near touchline. Peter Whittingham is an excellent left foot. He's a very, very good free kick taker. He's going to whip it in left-footed, in towards the back post, straight to the arms of Pepe Reina. Disappointing delivery, really. I saw him score an excellent goal a couple of weeks ago, straight from a free kick. It was poor delivery there, and Liverpool are on the attack, and Suarez has been caught late by McNaughton. Didn't really look like there was much in it, but Suarez went down as if he'd been shot there.
Yeah, I think McNaughton did clip him, but I think Suarez did make it. He got the ball first. He did clip Suarez, but I think Suarez made a little bit more than he should have done.
Well, Liverpool have the ball again, trying to make a couple more attacks before half time with Charlie Adam. Comes out towards this left hand side, and Enrique. There's a couple of men in the box if he wants to whip it in. He looks for Suarez, short. He's in the penalty area, twisting and turning right and left. Couldn't quite get his shot away. Some more good defending from Hudson. He's marshalled Suarez superbly well so far. And Cardiff are on the attack here. Gested was through. He's just about giving the foul. I'm not sure there was a lot in that. He's causing Skirtle all sorts of problems, Gested.
Skirtle cannot cope with him at the minute at all. Martin Skirtle is struggling big time.
The roars you can hear there is for a brilliant tackle from Don Cowie on Steven Gerrard. The Cardiff City fans enjoyed that one. But Liverpool have the ball though still. From the throw in, Gerrard has the ball in towards Downing, 20 yards out from goal. Ooh, trying to slip it through for Luis Suarez on the edge of the box. Couldn't quite get the Cardiff clear. Liverpool are going to recycle possession though and try and go again, trying to mount some pressure before half time. So a goal here would certainly make Kenny Dalglish's half-time team talk a lot easier.
There's not that right-hand side. There's no width because you've got Jordan Henderson basically playing as a right wing, and that's not his position. Other than Glenn Johnson, there's no interplay. There's no width. Whereas Stuart Downing's playing well with Jose Enrique on the left-hand side.
You say there's no width. Downing has the ball here, right in the centre of the pitch. He's giving it to Gerrard. Finds Suarez, 25 yards out from goal. Twisting past one tackle, pokes it towards goal, straight down the gullet of Tom Heaton in the Cardiff City goal. Lovely feat from Suarez. We've seen him do that time and time again. Just feigns to go one way, Cowie had no idea where he was going and just sort of poked it with it was almost a toe poke really for Suarez.
Was a toe poke, yeah. But yet again, everything's coming from that left-hand side. When you've got Stuart Down, who is a left winger, you've got Jose Enrique, who's a left back who can go forward, and they're interchangeable with Luis Suarez. On the right-hand side, other than Glenn Johnson, you haven't got anything, which is why you've got Stuart Down and basically swapping between wings.
Yeah, well, Henderson isn't really offering. He's actually staying out on the touchline. His instinct is to come inside, isn't it? He really wants to be in the position maybe Gerrard's playing. Having said that, and again, Adam has the ball here, running towards the left-hand side, no width whatsoever, and I think he's just yet been fouled by Aaron Gunnarsson. It's a decent position, this, from maybe Gerrard's right foot, 20-25 yards out from goal, slightly left, down towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. There's not a lot in that, is there, really? No,
not really. You can see why it was given, but it's not close enough for Luis Suarez, but you don't know how it's going to. You don't know whether this is good enough for it's a bit far out for Steven Gerrard, in my opinion. I think he'd be better suited getting it into the box rather than going for the shot.
It is a long way out for a shot. Gerrard and Adam are both over it. You have to say it would probably suit either of them. It's in that sort of position where you can whip it in towards the keeper. Gerrard is going to do that towards the back post. Oh dear me, Martin Stuart Downing, I think it was, holds his head in his hands. It was Daniel Agger actually at the back post. It was a free header from about 6 yards out. It was a magnificent delivery in from Gerrard, completely free header, and he's put it straight at the goalkeeper.
That is the only place he could have targeted that wouldn't have resulted in the goal.
A yard either side from Daniel Agger, and that's the equaliser. Heaton has lived a charmed life there. You have to say, it was a brilliant delivery. I think actually the assistant referees put his flag up on the far side, maybe for offside. It certainly didn't look like it from our position.
Because there was the left back from Cardiff was keeping him well onside, so I don't know what that's about. But anywhere else either side, and that was a goal.
Gerrard driving through the middle, lays it off for Suarez, looks wide for Downing, looks sort of Gerrard on the edge of the box. Gerrard, magnificent shot, block again, and Gerrard on the follow-up, stretching. If he had a little bit more composure, just blasts it 40 yards over the top of the Cardiff City goal. Again, some magnificent blocking here. Gerrard just takes a touch on the edge of the box, tries to flick it with the outside of his foot, and it was a brilliant block from Ben Turner in the Cardiff defence. There's 3 or 4 times there's been some superb defending getting in the way of Liverpool.
Steven Gerrard's standing leg went underneath him just as he was hitting that second shot, but great defending. There was 3 Cardiff players throwing themselves in front of Steven Gerrard there just to stop him getting that shot, and that shows the type of commitment Cardiff have got in this first half.
Exactly, they really have played superbly well. The ball has just gone up. We'll have a minute of stoppage time, just about into that now. So a minute for Liverpool to try and get into half-time and cut this 1-0 deficit. It's playing a long ball again, looking for Carroll. It didn't really work out, and Cardiff have the ball, which is exactly what they'll want through in Kenny Miller, running out towards the right-hand side. Cuts it inside and finds Whittingham. He goes back out towards the right. Mason is waiting for the ball. He gets it now, but tries to sort of cut a ball in towards Gusted, who it wasn't convincing defending from Martin Skrtel. It was a good job that the cross was slightly overhit and it went straight to the arms of Reina. 20 seconds of the first half left. Liverpool trying to find some form of attack just to try and maybe put a little bit more pressure on the Cardiff goal, and dear me, Jordan Henderson tries a crossfield ball to Enrique on the left, completely overhit, and that probably goes Liverpool's last chance of the first half. We've had the minute of added on time. Cardiff lead through Joe Mason's goal after 19 minutes. So work still to be done for...
what was Jordan Henderson playing at? That was an absolutely awful ball.
Saying that, there goes the half-time whistle from Wembley at the Carling Cup final. Cardiff City lead by 1-0. Joe Mason's brilliant finish from 6 yards out after 19 minutes. Plenty of chances for Liverpool, lots of pressure. But Chris, no real cutting edge.
No, same old. Whenever we cover a Liverpool game on Radio Broadgreen Sport, we always seem to be at Anfield, and the chances, they just don't take it. There's been a heck of a lot of possession for Liverpool, but there's no end product from it. Stuart Downing's played well. He's got the crosses in, but there's been no one in there taking the chances.
Exactly, and you have to say it's not been looking too good for Liverpool. They trail here at half-time. Work to be done for Kenny Miller. We'll cross back to the Broadgreen studio, where Liverpool here, in their first trip to Wembley since 1996, trail by 1-0. Back to you, Chris, in the studio.
Thanks, guys. A very convincing display from Cardiff at the moment. It's currently Cardiff 1, Liverpool 0 at Anfield. A very defensive, deep performance in Cardiff have meant Liverpool have found it very hard to break them down. But of course, for those who've been paying very close attention whilst listening, there has been a goal. And of course, that goal came from Joe Mason halfway in the first half.
Kenny Miller on the edge of the box. Lovely ball. Mason through the legs of Pepe Reina, and Cardiff take the lead. 19 minutes gone, and Joe Mason has scored for Cardiff. They lead by 1-0. It was an excellent move from Cardiff. Liverpool could not clear their lines, and Kenny Miller turns provider for Cardiff. Surprise could be on. Cardiff City 1, Liverpool 0. 90 minutes played at Wembley.
Bit of a shock result at the moment for anyone who isn't a Cardiff fan. But the scoreline doesn't really tell the whole story of how the game's gone so far, because if we just look at a few quick match stats, Liverpool have had 56% of the possession, and as Dan and Chris were saying earlier on, that was up to 65% just before the Cardiff goal in Liverpool's favour. There's been plenty of shots in the game, 15 shots from Liverpool and only 3 from Cardiff. And of Liverpool's 15 shots, 7 have been on target, whilst Cardiff have only managed 2. As for fouls, it's been a pretty clean game. 7 from Liverpool, 5 from Cardiff. Nothing too serious, but Liverpool really need to find a way of breaking down the Cardiff defence and not playing so much into their hand. Maybe producing a few more long shots rather than trying to walk the ball into the net. But, you know, towards the end of the first half, Liverpool were taking more shots from range. A Steven Gerrard free kick almost found a Daniel Agger goal after, but his header was straight at Tom Heaton. That was probably Liverpool's best chance the first half, other than when Steven Gerrard passed to Glenn Johnson quite early on and the ball hit the bar. We've got a few messages, and then we'll be going over the first half in more detail, so stick with us. So currently half-time in Radio Broadgreen Sports Special League Cup Final presentation. It's currently Cardiff 1, Liverpool 0. Liverpool's massive 15 shots on target hasn't been enough to get them a goal so far. And I'm curious to hear what Liverpool fans amongst Radio Broadgreen staff think about the game so far, whether they consider it a shock result. So we're now going to cross over to our fan zone, where Chris Orme, the jack of all trades amongst Radio Broadgreen sports staff, will be able to get some opinions from those Liverpool fans I spoke about. Chris, are you there?
Yes, I certainly am. Cheers for the jack of all trades quip there, Chris. I'll enjoy that. I'll take that with me for the rest of the show, shall I?
Yeah, you can leave your scarf here if they score.
Oh, can I? Okay, thanks for that. We've got a few of the Radio Broadgreen members in and around watching the game, and I'm going to sit next to make myself comfortable. We're talking with Graham. You've just watched that game, and are you as confused as I am about how Liverpool are struggling to even get a goal in?
I certainly am. I thought Gerrard had a very poor game, apart from missing the ball in the first couple of minutes. It's in the bar. I thought he played very poor, really. He's not been, his usual self. And I think Liverpool have not been the usual self. I think he's going to have to bring on Bellamy in the second half.
I think a lot of people are quite unsure why Craig Bellamy hasn't started this game against Cardiff, and they're losing a bit of spark, to be honest, in the midfield. They haven't really done much. What do you think about Andy Carroll up front? What do you think? Has he done much in this game?
I think he's been rubbish as well. They should take him off. I think he should cut his. He might score some goals.
So he's Liverpool's version of Samson, I think we can call him. That way, we'll move our way around. I can see Mr. Fulstow sitting in the corner. Right, you're watching that, John, and I'm looking and I'm thinking, if we didn't enjoy it, I can't see how anybody else can.
No, absolutely not. But I've got to say, Cardiff, their defence has been unbelievable. They had 7 people across the penalty box, and it's difficult to get past there. But Liverpool at the moment still a bit below par, definitely.
Obviously, John, I'm just picking up not your usual Liverpool accent. So, which team are you supporting today?
Oh, Liverpool, definitely. I'm an adopted Liverpool person, yes.
And adopted. Looking at this, Liverpool have had the possession, they've had the chances. Surely they have to score in that second half. Cardiff cannot keep up with all the amount of defending they're doing for the rest of the 90 minutes.
No, but as soon as they we lose the ball, Cardiff are away and they break and seem to be very good at breaking and getting up to our side very quickly.
It's quite amazing, to be honest. But looking at that, John, let's get a prediction. What do you think? Second half, can Liverpool come out and take over this, or do you think it's Cardiff for the taking?
Well, my grandson is at the match and he predicted 3-1. So there's still 3 goals to come from Liverpool.
Thank you very much, Will. Chris, we've got a couple of views so far. I'm assuming we will definitely come back down at full time, but for now, we will hand it back over to you. I will see if I can get some handyman stuff done while just to add to me jack of trades as well.
I knew you'd like that comment, Chris. Thanks again. Well, that's it so far. It's currently Cardiff 1, Liverpool 0. It's been very interesting to hear some fan views there from the Liverpool fans, Graham there, as well as John, who, despite being from Hull, is back in Liverpool today in the city in which he now lives. I think everyone's pretty much agreed down there in the fan zone that Liverpool really need to up their game a little bit if they're going to come away with any from this game. I'm sure if they continue their barrage of shots on goal, they'll be able to find some goals from somewhere. But I think it's best to keep a clear head and keep optimistic and don't dream that it's really over. Yes, League Cup final day. At the moment, it's currently Cardiff 1, Liverpool 0. Despite plenty of shots on goal with 7 on target and 56% possession, Liverpool are currently being beaten by Championship outfit Cardiff. The goal came 90 minutes into the game from Joe Mason.
Kenny Miller on the edge of the box. Lovely ball. Mason through the legs of Pepe Reina, and Cardiff take the lead. 19 minutes gone and Joe Mason has scored for Cardiff. They lead by a goal to 0. It was an excellent move from Cardiff. Liverpool could not clear their lines, and Kenny Miller turns provider for Cardiff. Surprise could be on. Cardiff City 1, Liverpool 0. 90 minutes played at Wembley.
We're crossing back over to Wembley shortly to see Dan Jameson and Chris Orme give us their second half commentary live from Wembley. It's been a great game so far. It's been not short of action. Liverpool, as I said, have had plenty of shots on goal, 15 shots in total. And they've had a few standout players like the much maligned Stuart Downing has actually had a very good game. I personally think he's the best player on the field at the moment because he's playing at his correct position at left wing. He's caused quite a few terrorising crosses for the Cardiff defence to handle. But somehow Liverpool just haven't been able to grab a goal. And the best chance of the first half coming from Daniel Agger, who got on the end of a cross but headed it straight at Tom Heaton, the Cardiff goalkeeper. And the teams are coming back out onto the Wembley turf. Steven Gerrard looks very determined from the images I have here, and the Liverpool fans at Wembley not looking too disheartened. The scarves are out, the flags are out, and they're quite vocal. It's been quite an optimistic display from Liverpool so far, despite being a goal down. Hopefully they'll be able to grab a goal from somewhere, maybe 2 or 3, and win the game. Or otherwise we may see a penalty shootout. I bet the neutrals amongst you would love to see that. And without further ado, I'll cross back over to Wembley now, where she'll be joined by Dan Jameson and also Chris Orme.
Hello Chris, thank you very much. Half-time excellent as always. The teams are back out onto the pitch just down below us. We've seen Kenny Dalglish appearing to have a right or go at referee Mark Clattenburg.
He came away with a big smile on his face at the end, Kenny, but with that Scottish temper you could tell he was giving the referee a piece of his mind there.
I think maybe it was to do with the two. We did have 2 penalty shouts really. Neither of them we thought were probably penalties, but I think maybe he's just putting a bit of doubt in his mind.
Maybe, yeah. The first one, the handball, it was definitely a case of the referee could never have given it in that position. It was all down to the assistant referee, the linesman, and he wasn't interested. The second one, no, you're not gonna get them. So hopefully Liverpool need to just push on a little bit more and put them chances away.
Yeah, well, Liverpool were out early for the second half. Cardiff are only just joining us. That's what you can hear in the background. Lots of Welsh voices singing away to our left-hand side. The referee and all the players are back out, so we should be underway very, very soon indeed. Cardiff leading by a goal to 0 here at Wembley, probably against the run of play. I'd say that they're doing far better than many people expected. They've never even got to the Carling Cup final before. Their best is back in 1966. We got to the semi-final and proceeded to lose.
I think Cardiff have done what Liverpool were famous, especially in European away ties, for sitting back and defending, getting an early goal, or just sitting back and defending so under pressure. It's kind of flipped around because Cardiff have done exactly the same so far in this half.
Exactly, they've been. You have to say they played their game plan absolutely to perfection. Malky Mackay is a very good young manager, and he's managed to nullify Liverpool so far as we get underway. Liverpool kicking off, playing from left to right in their usual red. Cardiff from right to left in their blue. And hopefully we'll see maybe a few more chances for Liverpool rather than just the pressure. And as I said, that Downing tries to run around Kevin McNaughton. But McNaughton buys the throw-in cleverly off Downing. Almost outpaced him, just didn't quite make it all the way around. The rather sizable figure of Kevin McNaughton.
I can't see Kenny Dalglish waiting that long to make the substitution. I think if Liverpool haven't got the equaliser within the first 15 minutes, then there's changes to be made. You'll see your Dirk Kuyt, you'll definitely see your Craig Bellamy's. It'll be very interesting to see who he takes off.
Exactly. There have been no changes at the break. The teams are exactly the same as they were in the first half. We'll run through them very quickly. Cardiff have Heaton in goal, back forward McNaughton, Hudson, Turner and Taylor. Was effectively a midfield 5. I'll gone back to that as Downing has blitzed into the penalty area, but he's given a foul against Stuart Downing for something.
I think he's given a foul.
Sorry, he's given a foul against Kenny Miller for a pull on Jose Enrique. Probably the right decision. There was a bit of contact between them, and this is a very good position again from Liverpool. We'll get back to the teams in just a few minutes' time. Steven Gerrard is stood over this free kick. It's just about 5 yards away from the corner of the penalty area on the far side, Liverpool left. Gerrard whips it in. It's a poor effort. It was flicked away by Don Cowie at the front post. It fell to Jordan Henderson, and the laughter you can hear to my left hand side from Chris Orme is because he skewed it miles wide.
That was closer to the corner flag than the post of the goal. It was
fairly poor.
But yet again,
Jordan Henderson.
as we talked about a lot on Radio Broadgreen Sport, the set pieces are hitting the front man every single time. They are not getting past the first man.
The only decent set piece we've seen from Liverpool is the Gerrard free kick that Agger should have scored from.
Yeah, 1 out of about 6 or 7. It's
not great.
It's poor.
Really isn't great. Best fill you in on the teams. Cardiff was saying Heaton in goal, McNaughton, Hudson, Turner, Taylor, the back four. Midfield 5 of Cowie, Whittingham, Gunnarsson, Miller and Mason. With Rudy Kasted pretty much operating as a lone striker up front on his own. Liverpool, Pepe Reina in goal, Johnson, Skirtle, Agger, Enrique at the back. Adam and Gerrard holding in midfield, with Henderson and Downing out wide, with Suarez playing just off Andy Carroll, and as we've been alluding to, on the bench against his former club, Craig Bellamy. Surely that is now the question. How long until we see Bellamy as Cardiff launch a long ball into the box? It's bouncing around, Miller's onto it, and it's just about cleared away by Agger, but only as far as Gunnarsson, who nods it back in. Agger wins the header again, but Cardiff still have the ball here. Miller on the edge of the box, and he's very lucky that Agger was there to mop that up, because Cardiff again starting the half looking very, very threatening. This is Whittingham, 40 yards out from goal. Lovely little reverse ball into Cowie, back heel to the edge of the box. Miller with the shot, just wide. That was only about a yard wide of Pepe Reina's near hand post. Cardiff again looking by far the more threatening side.
Pepe Reina is going absolutely ballistic at his defenders there. He is going absolutely. There's no one tracking Kenny Miller whatsoever, and Pepe Reina has just give basically the whole back four a piece of his mind there, and with deserve, to be honest.
Well, they certainly do, because again that was Daniel Agger out of position. He rushed towards the ball. It was his mistake for the goal that Cardiff scored in the first half, and again he was completely out of position. Gaping hole for Miller to run into, and really probably should have made the goalkeeper work there.
Liverpool's centre halves haven't had a good game at all. Martin Skrtel isn't coping well, and Daniel Agger, you'd think he'd be the best man and the man on form, because he missed the last game. He was rested in the last game.
Liverpool on the attack, a lovely little back heel flick from Suarez to Gerrard, and just about caught on the stretch by Taylor. Otherwise Gerrard was absolutely pounding towards the Cardiff goal on the right hand side. Excellent little touch from Suarez in there. He's been very quiet so far in this game. Liverpool really need to get him on the ball a little bit more if they're to trouble this Cardiff back line.
With Luis Suarez, we know he's the creative force and he likes to touch the ball, but he's picking the ball up close to midfield.
He almost picked the ball up there a little bit further forward. Liverpool are in here. Suarez has won it from Hudson. Suarez, good save from Heaton, and Cardiff clear the ball. How on earth did that happen? Cardiff went to sleep at the back. Mark Hudson, the captain, he was absolutely sleeping. It was just a long ball from Charlie Adam. It was flicked on by Carroll, and Hudson should just clear it, but Suarez gets in between him and the ball on the far side of the 6-yard box, slashes it across goal, and Heaton just about palms it away to safety.
Yet again, though, Luis Suarez's only option from an extremely tight angle was to take the shot because there was no one in the box.
Carroll didn't really move after he played the ball, but Liverpool do have a free kick down this right hand side that Charlie Adam is going to take 5 or 10 yards just outside of the corner, this near side corner of the penalty area. Lots of movement. Adam towards the back post, flicked back in towards the goal by Skirtle, and was Ben Turner who nods it over his own crossbar for another Liverpool corner. Pressure building now.
Great defending by Cardiff, absolutely great defending, no nonsense, just get it out and don't worry about where it goes, just get it out to play.
Exactly. And having said Liverpool have a lot of height in that team, Cardiff are not exactly small either. They've defended very well. Adam takes the free kick in towards the front post, and it doesn't beat the first man yet again. Out to Glenn Johnson though. He tries to spin it in towards Agger, who stayed forward. It's cleared away again, but it's worked its way out towards Downing on the left hand side. Crosses it in towards the near post where Agger's waiting again, and it's been more fantastic defending from Mark Hudson, who's been an absolute colossus for Cardiff today. Liverpool though can continue to try and keep this pressure on. Gerrard, trapped by Kenny Miller, gives it to Henderson, who spread it wide for Charlie Adam on his left foot in towards the centre of the pitch. He had a shot from fully 30 yards out, and it took a deflection off a Cardiff player. Suarez is claiming it took a hand. It's very, very harsh if he gave that.
You're never going to. It might have come off his hand. You never know, but you're never going to get. You never.
No, it was again a brilliant block from Ben Turner this time with his thigh. But Liverpool have a corner. They've taken it short to Gerrard, who again puts a poor cross in, but it's found Henderson 30 yards out from goal. He's lost out to the goal scorer Joe Mason, and in his desperation to try and win the ball back, gone straight through the Cardiff player, and he's given away a free kick, and for his troubles he's been given a yellow card.
Bad touch, absolutely bad touch from Jordan Henderson, and he did dive in. You know, it was a little bit desperate about giving the ball away, and it was a bad challenge, but looking at that,
we just had a replay on our monitors here of the handball shout a moment ago. It did, to be fair, it did strike the hand of the Cardiff player, but it flicks up off his thigh, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
That's ball to hand, and it's just, you're never going to get that.
So it's a third penalty shout turned down correctly then for Liverpool in this game.
Yeah.
No doubt Kenny Dalglish will be talking about those.
There'll be another word for the referee, I'm sure, coming off the pitch.
Cardiff though, they've got the ball down in halfway inside the Liverpool half with a throw in from Taylor. He finds Miller. He's dropping into space all over the shot, but this time his ball is poor and rolls straight out for a throw in to Liverpool. Cardiff again going through a bit of a phase where they're struggling to get a real foot on the ball. They're not really being able to get any good possession going, apart from that really early chance again for Kenny Miller. Could do with maybe trying to take the sting out of this game, because Liverpool are going to come out firing surely here.
Cardiff just need to keep possession. They've got the one goal they need. They don't need to do anything else. A bit of possession, and the more possession you get, the more frustrated Liverpool will get.
It's certainly working that way. You can hear the frustration from the Liverpool fans behind the goal that they're attacking this time around. And Cardiff have got Cardiff have worked it wide towards the left hand side and found Don Cowie, who's in don't know where Glenn Johnson had gone. There was only a sliding challenge from Martin Skirtle that kept Cardiff from having another chance yet again. On the clearance, Andy Carroll's won a free kick for Liverpool. So they've taken short to Johnson, just crossing the halfway line on this near side. Well, it's 10 minutes of the second half gone. Cardiff still lead by 1-0. And Liverpool having to play it around because at the back at the moment, because Cardiff just, and again there's a lot of pressure from Cardiff. They've forced a mistake from Agger this time. He's given it straight to Peter Whittingham. Not many Cardiff players forward in this attack, but Whittingham still has the ball. He finds Gusted on the right touch line, gives it back to Whittingham. Lovely little 1-2, and Gusted tries to whip the ball in, but a brilliant sliding challenge from Daniel Agger and the ball very nearly stayed in. Off the corner flag goes out for a throw into Cardiff.
The pressure's building up already. Liverpool are struggling and they don't really know what to do on the ball. They've got Cardiff have basically packed the midfield. Kenny Miller's basically playing as an attacking central midfielder, and he isn't actually doing that much attacking at the minute unless Cardiff are on the counter-attack. He's sitting in that midfield. It's 4-5-1 and Liverpool can't break through that packed midfield.
There's very, very little space for Liverpool at the moment, and it's really showing. Gunnarsson winds up a long throw. This is a fantastic one into it, and Reina has to punch clear. It's been nodded back in, and I'll tell you what, it was nodded back in by one of the Cardiff players, and Miller was there very, very nearly bumped Reina off the ball, but he managed to grasp it and launches a counter-attack. Downing's given the ball away. It was found long by Johnson, and he's just given the ball straight to Kenny Miller. Gerrard couldn't salvage the situation. Liverpool do have the ball back with Gerrard. Finds Suarez, who was in an offside position, just half a yard. And a frustration is beginning to tell, not just on the Liverpool team, but from the Liverpool fans. And sure, that's half of the job done from Cardiff. They don't actually have to put much pressure on the Liverpool goal, really, because the fans will do that for them.
It's little things like all Stuart Downing had to do then was take the ball down, control it and move with it. He decided to lay it off to Steven Gerrard, but the layoff was at least 5 or 6 yards too short and easy for the defender.
It's very frustrating from a Liverpool point of view. Cardiff, though, will be absolutely delighted with how it's going, and could be a threat on here for Carroll. Has found Suarez inside the box, not Meg's the Cardiff defender, and what a challenge from Kevin McNaughton again. Cardiff have defended absolutely superbly. It was a long ball chested down from Suarez. Carroll found him again with the ball through. He was nutmegged Ben Turner in the Cardiff defence, but McNaughton flew in and put it behind for a corner that Stuart Downing takes, clips it in towards Carroll on the penalty spot, doesn't win the header. Cowie beat him to it. Charlie Adam hits it first time to Downing on the left touch line, flicks it in towards Agger with the flicked header, and that's straight towards Ben Turner in the goal. Again, a bit of a waste of a set piece, and I have to say Heaton has absolutely smashed it towards Don Cowie, who made the forward run. Absolutely no support. He's crowded out by Liverpool, who've managed to give the ball away to Gusted, who's fouled by Jose Enrique. He gave the ball away, Enrique, just on the halfway line. Allowed Gusted in towards to get the ball, and in his desperation to get back, had to foul him.
I think the frustration is now starting to get to the Liverpool players as well. You can tell by the touches, and I think you can tell from the noise around the ground. Craig Bellamy is coming on for Liverpool. He's replacing Jordan Henderson, and listen to that reception that he's getting. Sure, this is surely going to be the game changer. Most definitely, and that's probably the first time in any kind of final that a player's come on and had a full standing ovation from every fan in the ground.
Oh, because they absolutely love him at Cardiff. Having said that, Cardiff are on the attack here. Cowie into the box, trapped by Skirtle. He finds Taylor on the left hand side, goes towards the back post with the cross, and it's flicked away. Carroll with a dreadful header. Craig Bellamy just about collects it, and he's lost out, and Cardiff won the ball there. Gunnarsson can find Whittingham, spreads it wide to his left hand side, and Taylor, who's made a foray forward from left back, but his ball into the middle is a little bit loose, but it's back with Whittingham. Finds Taylor with the short ball. Not much on for Cardiff here. Taylor's forced back towards Gunnarsson. Tried a little reverse ball in towards Miller, but Gerrard read it, but then gave the ball away. Whittingham, left-footed in toward, looking for Gusted, who again got the better of Daniel Agger, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side. It was an overhit cross, really, from Cardiff. But again, Liverpool not really dealing with it defensively.
It looks like after that first half performance, they've swapped it around, and it's Daniel Agger who's looking after Gusted, and he's not having any better luck than Martin Skrtel was.
He certainly is a handful, the French-American, and they'll want to keep him on for as long as possible. He only came on as a substitute in the semi-final, the second leg against Crystal Palace. Did score in the shootout, though. So if this ends up going the distance, they have form, Cardiff. As we were saying before the game, they've already had two shootouts already to get to this stage. As Cardiff have to clear the ball behind through Ben Turner. A little ball in from Glenn Johnson, looking for Suarez. A little bit overhit. Suarez's pressure forced Turner into the mistake, and it's another corner on the far side, the near side, for Liverpool.
Let's hope we can miss the first man this time.
Downing takes it. clips it in against, looking for Carroll on the box, off the post, and Skirtle into the back of the net from the corner. Stuart Downing knocked it in towards Andy Carroll, who won the header. Suarez hit the post, and then for the follow-up, Martin Skirtle, who's had a torrid old time in this game, he reacted quicker and a real poacher's finish. Liverpool have the equaliser. It's Cardiff 1, Liverpool 1.
What a great finish from the centre-half. That is one of the best finishes you can see. And for the first time, a decent ball into the box, decent flick on. Luis Suarez realistically should have scored, but what a bit of control from Martin Skirtle, and that is a finish of top quality, nutmegging the keeper back in the net.
Absolutely superb. It wasn't a bad ball in from Downing, actually. It was towards Carroll, who won the header. Suarez flicked it towards the post from only about 2 yards out, and Skirtle reacted quickest. An excellent touch, and as you say, a fantastic finish, nutmegging the goalkeeper, much like the first goal. Yeah. Now we have a game on our hands. 60 minutes gone. Cardiff 1, Liverpool 1.
That's 2 goals in 2 games from Martin Skirtle, which is pretty decent for a centre-half. He scored against Brighton.
It took him a long time to get going this season, but it's pretty prolific.
I tell you, it's taken him a long time to get going in this match, considering the amount of problems he's had with Gestede has been unreal. But the goals there, so let's hope now Liverpool, step it up. Cardiff cannot sit back unless they're quite happy to take it to penalties for the 3rd time in the competition.
Yeah, exactly. Hearts in mouths for a moment there for Liverpool fans. A long ball towards Gestede. He was pulled away onto Glenn Johnson. Johnson had his arms on his back. No real foul. Gestede went down looking for the free kick, and it would have been in a very awkward position had the referee fell for Gestede's rather ostentatious appeals there. Liverpool have the ball. Gerrard flicks it wide. An excellent ball to Glenn Johnson, who backheels it towards Downing. Under hit, and Cardiff City just about managed to win the ball back. It's out for a goal kick.
Glenn Johnson's carried on where he was in the first half. He is up and down that right wing like a gazelle, shall we say. he is having loads of the ball, and he's defended well, but he's still not afraid to get in and around that box. He's getting across it, and he's even getting himself in positions to score.
Exactly. He's been one of Liverpool's better performers today. He's provided all of the width where Henderson's provided nothing, and Downing's been fairly ineffective. He's come in inside more often than he's done outside, which was surprising given how much joy he's had. Cardiff on the attack though now. Miller's played the 1-2 with Don Cowie on the left hand side, flicks across in towards the goalkeeper. Nobody there for Cardiff but Pepe Reina. Liverpool on the attack now through Craig Bellamy. He's driving across the halfway line, finds Downing in the centre circle, and his poor touch rolls straight to Cowie, and Cardiff have the ball back and can really relieve a little bit of pressure. Certainly been building towards that Liverpool goal in the last few minutes. At 63 minutes here at Wembley, with no closer really to working out who's going to win this game. Still delicately poised. Cardiff taking the lead through Joe Mason after just 19 minutes. Liverpool though replying just a few minutes ago through Martin Skirtle. And Liverpool have the ball again through Charlie Adam. Finds Stephen Gerrard and goes out towards the left hand side, and Stuart Downing is challenged by the goal scorer Mason, who's working very, very hard. Malky Mackay's at the edge of his technical area, yelling at his players, geeing them up, make sure they keep with this work rate, which has been absolutely superb throughout.
It's been absolutely superb. Cardiff are defending like beavers, and it's just absolutely amazing. Whether they can keep it up for the full match, I don't know.
I didn't realise you've been replaced by Chris Kamara at half time.
Unbelievable, Dan.
Still 1-1 here at Wembley on Radio Broadgreen and the Merseyside Hospitals Football Network, bringing you live commentary of the Carling Cup final between Cardiff and Liverpool. And Suarez thought he was through there, just a couple of yards offside from the long ball. So he's been quite quiet so far in this first half.
Yeah, he's been quiet for most of the match, to be honest. And Andy Carroll, he's had the odd flick on, but he hasn't really done much either.
A long ball from the goalkeeper was up towards Gestede again, who won the header, and Johnson hasn't managed to make his clearance. He's hit Don Cowie, who's got the ball again in the Liverpool right back position. He finds Taylor. Liverpool forcing them back. Gunnarsson, he's found Mason inside the box. He goes for the goal, straight at Reina, but again, Liverpool architects of their own downfall.
It's Cardiff aren't giving up. The fact that Liverpool have equalised, Cardiff are just kind of taking it as, okay, they've equalised, we'll just score again. It's rare. You have to give a lot of praise to Cardiff for the way they're playing, because considering they're the championship side and they're not favourites to weren't even favourites to get this far, they've been the better team so far.
They've certainly not been giving Liverpool too much respect, as they certainly shouldn't do. You'd expect nothing less from Malky Mackay, who was certainly a no-nonsense player back in his day. Liverpool are on the attack inside the last third of the Cardiff half. They're forced back though from some more good pressure. Now Charlie Adam tries to spin it wide. Agger stepping up from into midfield. He's despite being put on the floor, has found Suarez inside the box. Suarez has gone past one player, and his ball across for the 6-yard box was just flicked away by the Cardiff defence again. Johnson into the penalty area, looks for Bellamy, just overrun. I think the goalkeeper got a touch on that, and surely that should be a corner to Liverpool.
Just on a side note, Dan, I think Kenny Miller looks like he's pulled up with an injury there. He was going to close down Glenn Johnson on the right wing, and he's pulled up there. Don't know if it's a hamstring or a knee, but doesn't look too good.
And that's certainly not good for Cardiff. Liverpool do indeed have a corner now. 65 minutes played. Downing slaps it in towards Carroll again. It's headed away by Gunnarsson. 4 Liverpool players though queuing up to fire it back in. One of them, Enrique. He's hit Carroll on the edge of the box, and he's brought in Glenn Johnson. There's 2 men on the far side if Johnson can find him. Looks for the reverse ball towards Agger when really there were men better placed, and Cardiff can attack. They found Rudy Gestede only up against Jose Enrique, and Enrique did very well to marshal the gangly American. It's out for a throw-in on the near side. Miller does seem to be moving a little bit more freely. He's have to wait and see what Cardiff decide to do. They do have Rob Earnshaw on the bench, who's not a bad replacement really for Miller. He's on the ball now, and fouled by the looks of things from Charlie Adam, but the referee's allowed play to continue. Cardiff have spread it wide to the right hand side of McNaughton. He clips it in towards Gestede. Skirtle finally wins the header, but can only find Whittingham. But Whittingham's touch was poor, and Skirtle won the ball back. Carroll has done very well to win the ball against Ben Turner. Now Liverpool can break into the last third of the field with Craig Bellamy coming inside, finds Carroll 20 yards out from goal. Now onto this near side with Stuart Downing, crosses it with his right foot all the way along the 6-yard box again, and no Liverpool player to attack it, and it's cleared by Cardiff again.
I think because Craig Bellamy playing on the left hand side, now Stuart Downing's come across to the right, and his right foot isn't the strongest, so it wasn't the best of crosses. But as you say, yet again, there's no Liverpool players making a move towards that 6-yard area at all.
It was a very good cross actually from Stuart Downing that he pulled out of the bag, low and hard across along the line of the 6-yard box. The only player attacking it was Cardiff City captain Mark Hudson.
Yeah, yet again, there's no kind of Liverpool players aren't expecting that type of cross. They're all sitting just outside, in between the 18-yard box and the 6-yard line, and expecting it there.
Maybe some penetration now from Downing, who gets into a similar position again, about 5 yards out from the touchline. His cross is blocked behind by Taylor, and Liverpool will have another corner, which Downing is going to take. Just seen a shot of down below us. Malky Mackay is deep in conversation with his coaching staff. We can only assume that Kenny Miller is the subject of that conversation. Downing crosses it in towards, looking for the goalkeeper. Some pressure on from the Liverpool players. It was nodded away, but Downing's won it back on this near side. Downing tries to put another low cross in, and he was convinced that he's won a corner. I was convinced that he won a corner, but the referee has decided it was
myself. But let's have a look.
He goes onto his right foot, tries to put the low cross, and to be fair to the assistant referee, he has made the correct decision. Simon Beck on this near side. Well done, sir. Got the correct call there. Goal kick to Cardiff.
They haven't given up at all, have they, Cardiff? Liverpool are still coming at them, but Cardiff's defence is still holding up strong, and other than that one chance that Liverpool put away, where it was all down to the pressure from Andy Carroll, Liverpool haven't looked that threatening.
Not at all. Cardiff, you have to say, we wonder whether the Cardiff's work rate might fade and dip, given that they're the championship side with 20 minutes to go. There's certainly been no signs of that.
Not at all. Cardiff look like they're still up and ready for the match, and as you said, the fact that they have been to 2 penalty shootouts already this season, it doesn't seem like that phased them at all.
Yeah, 2 penalty shootouts and 4 extra time.
That's extra time's not going to phase them at all.
Not at all. They had it in both the semi-final and the third round when they played Crystal Palace and Leicester City. Won both of those shootouts. Scored quite a few. The game against Leicester City, they won 7-6 on penalties, so there's certainly no mugs when it comes to from 12 yards. Liverpool can try and... We don't want to go to penalties, of course. Liverpool trying to get the goal that will seal them their first silverware in a very, very long time for this club. Gerrard, 30 yards out from goal, plays the 1-2 with Suarez again. Excellent challenge from Mark Hudson. Brilliant challenge coming in through the back of Luis Suarez. Fairly, it must be said. And Cardiff to try and take a little bit of the sting out of this game. Whittingham has found Taylor on this left-hand side. Goes long looking for Gusted again, and he's causing all sorts of problems. He's put Glenn Johnson on his backside there, but luckily for Liverpool, Skrtel was there to mop things up. Gonna have a breaking play though here, because Aaron Gunnarsson is down holding his head. The physios have been called on that. That certainly would be a blow for Cardiff if both Kenny Miller and Aaron Gunnarsson both ended up with injuries.
It would be, to be honest, because I can't see, if the score stays the same, I can't see Malky Mackay wanting to make any kind of substitution if the score stays until at least they go into the second, at least until they go into extra time.
Yeah, Gunnarsson's down. He's just in that last Liverpool attack. But Gerrard tried to play the 1-2 with Suarez. Our eyes were on Mark Hudson's excellent challenge. Gerrard ended up running straight into the back of Aaron Gunnarsson. He caught him with his forearm at the side of his head. No intent or malice or anything, but it was a completely accidental collision. But unsurprisingly, the force of a fully flying Steven Gerrard into the side of your head is enough to make anybody go down and stay down for a while. As he comes off to this near side touchline, no lasting damage, we don't think.
No, Steven Gerrard's eyes were firmly on the ball. He was looking for the 1-2, and if it wasn't for that great tackle, he probably would have got it. So
yeah, Steve Clarke and Kenny Dalglish deep in conversation down on the touchline. I can't see any of the substitutes to come on. They're not really players to really change the tempo of the game. I mean, Kaut and Maxi Rodriguez are the only real attacking substitutes that Liverpool could really make. The others, Martin Kelly, Jay Spearing, Jamie Carragher, they're not the sort you want to come on when you're chasing a goal.
No, Jamie Carragher and Martin Kelly, they're only going to come on if you have an injury to one of your defenders. Jay Spearing, I think you may see him if Liverpool take the lead, but unfortunately you are relying on Dirk Kuyt, who hasn't really had that good of a season, and Maxi Rodriguez, who no matter how much he plays and how many games he starts and scores goals, he doesn't seem to get a run in the team. He isn't really that consistent.
No, apart from towards the tail end of last season, he couldn't stop scoring goals. Unfortunately, he seems to have lost that form over the summer, and he's been rightfully dropped in favour of Jordan Henderson, who, has to be said, didn't really do much until he was taken off and replaced by the man we've all been talking about this week, Craig Bellamy, who's yet to really have an impact on this game. He's had a few touches, but nothing really concrete so far for Liverpool. I want to get him on the ball as much as possible. He's there begging for the ball. Gerrard has it though. Suarez rides the tackle and finds Downing on this right hand side. Johnson up with him, faced up with the fullback and Kenny Miller. Johnson puts a decent ball in, and Ben Turner flicks it behind for another corner. I've lost count of the number of corners. We must be in towards double figures now.
Cardiff are under the cosh at the minute. They can't get hold of the ball, and on the rare occasions that they do, they can't keep hold of it. Liverpool are all over them, but then again, we had this in the first half, and Cardiff went down and then scored.
Exactly. Adam takes this free kick towards the back post, and Bellamy was there. Skrtel tries to fire it in, and again it was straight at the goalkeeper Tom Heaton, and it was a very acute angle for Martin Skrtel. It was a good header down from Bellamy, who won, and Skrtel on the volley just about beat Kevin McNaughton to the ball. Unfortunately for Liverpool, the goalkeeper was alive and saved the ball well down towards his feet. It's a good point though. Cardiff struggling to make the ball stick up front. Gusted in the first half was outstanding, holding the ball up, bringing people into play, struggling to find him really.
Yeah, and I think they've been sucked into the trap, Cardiff, but they're sitting further and further back. Where, at least in the first half, even before the goal, they were defending well, but they weren't afraid to push forward. In this second half, they just seem to be sitting back further and further and further.
And they've got a line of about 8 players, all on the edge of the penalty area. Bellamy playing in front of him, finds Johnson on the right hand side. Poor touch, and there's 3 Cardiff players onto him straight away. Bellamy though is found 20 yards out from goal, loops the ball in towards Andy Carroll. whose header is poor and flies over the top of the goal, and Cardiff won't mind seeing shots like that.
That's a poor header from Andy Carroll. It's not exactly at a high foot now. It's a decent height, and all he has to do is get it on target, and that's gone flying over the crossbar.
He's yet to get anything on target this afternoon. He's been pretty poor so far today, we have to say. Maybe not justifying Kenny Dalglish's selection of him. We're approaching the last 15 minutes of this game, so it's very much do or die now. We could be up for extra time. We could be here all night as the score remains Cardiff City 1, Liverpool 1. So that very, very nearly Carroll flicked a ball through for Suarez. Couldn't quite get it through. Cardiff are on the attack. Miller is stopped by a good tackle from Daniel Agger, and Liverpool calmly and composedly keep the ball and give it back to Pepe Reina. We've just seen the attempts on goal. Liverpool have had over 20 shots on goal. Cardiff, just the 5.
But when you look, Liverpool had 21 attempts on goal. 4 of them have been on target. Yet again, the same thing we always say when we cover Liverpool games on Radio Broadgreen Sport. It's putting the chances away.
And you have to say, there's a certain Geordie number 9 up front who's been at fault for a large percentage of those.
I think a quarter of the chances must have been his.
Oh, chance here. Enrique's found Bellamy in space in the penalty area, looking for Carroll. But McNaughton was alive to the danger. It was an excellent ball into Bellamy, and the captain, Cardiff's captain Mark Hudson, is down with a bit of cramp in his calf. There was a doubt on Mark Hudson before this game. He's had a calf problem all this week. He's managed to come through past a very late fitness test. They really don't want to lose him. It doesn't look good so far. Let's hope for his sake that it is just a bit of cramp. Otherwise we could very well be seeing a bit of a family affair, because next in line to come on if he cannot return to the action would be cousin of Liverpool captain Anthony Gerrard.
Yeah, and Anthony Gerrard did an interview this week and basically said, yeah, we are cousins, and although we've never played against each other, if the chance comes and a tackle needs making, I will make the tackle on him, and I'm sure he'll do exactly the same on me.
It'd be very interesting to see the first time that either of them go, especially for a 50-50 ball.
Yeah,
there'll be no love lost between them.
No, not at all. They've obviously played together in the past in the park and probably showed themselves no mercy there. So,
as well, I've heard, I think it was Stephen Gerrard talking on the television this week, saying there's going to be around about 100 of the Gerrard clan there at Wembley. They're both taking about 40 or 50 of their extended family. So it'll be a big moment for Anthony Gerrard if he comes on. We'll let you know how Mark Hudson, if he returns to the action or not. They'll certainly not want to lose him, because he's been outstanding today. This is Suarez on the right hand side, chased by Turner. Brings Gerrard back into play. He looks inside for Stuart Downing, 20 yards out from goal, flashes a shot at goal, and a good save from Tom Heaton. Only parry it wide, and Hudson, who's, oh my word, he's limping all over the shot. He manages to just about get the clearance, but it didn't matter anyway because Suarez was offside.
Luis Suarez, other than hitting the post that created the Liverpool goal, he's had an exceptionally quiet game by his standards. He really has had an exceptionally quiet game, and you'd think this would be the occasion for him to step up, and it just doesn't seem to have been his day today.
Not at all. It was very similar last weekend against Brighton. He pretty good up until 20-25 yards out from goal, and then it all went to pieces, which is a running theme for Liverpool this season. Cardiff have taken their free kick long from the goalkeeper up towards Gusted, who won the header, and Cardiff can maybe put a bit of pressure on through Kenny Miller. Martin Skirtle finally appears to have regained his composure 78.5 minutes into the game. And dealt with that very well.
Shows you what a goal can do, doesn't it?
It really does. But Cardiff has still got the ball. Cowie, now Whittingham in the centre of the pitch towards this left hand side. Whittingham gets it again into the centre circle, and Gunnarsson chased down by Andy Carroll, but he can't stop the ball going out to the right hand side. McNaughton making a foray forward from right back, puts in towards Gusted, who bizarrely went for the overhead kick, and it's dropped for Kenny Miller, he was challenged by Stuart Downing. The referee has given a free kick. There wasn't a lot in that for me.
That's a very dubious decision. It's not the first time.
It was a poor touch really from Kenny Miller, and I think he's just lost his footing as Downing sort of came towards him, and this is very definitely within Peter Whittingham's range.
Kenny Miller's pushed forward towards the goal, and as you do with your momentum, you've thrown your hands out to the side. His hands literally hit Stuart Downing on the arm. Kenny Miller's gone down, and the referee's given the free kick. It was never a free kick.
Well, will certainly be. Kenny Dalglish will have something to say if this goes in. Whittingham is standing over it. He's an excellent dead ball player. He's about 20, 23, 24, 25 yards out from goal, slightly left of centre. Whittingham runs up, hits it left footed, and hits Downing in the wall. Cardiff fans more than anything screaming for handball. That would be incredibly harsh, and it's rolled out for a throw in here on the left hand side.
Very poor free kick that.
Very disappointing.
Straight into the wall.
He's had a couple now, Whittingham, and I was interested to see how he would do. You can hear the excitement from the Cardiff City fans, because you know who's come over to take this throw in. It's Aaron Gunnarsson and his slingshot gibbon arms. 20, just level with the penalty area. It's nodded on from Mason, I think it was. Liverpool managed to clear, and is only as far as Suarez, who can't hold it up, and the ball was tossed back in towards Hudson, who's stayed forward, and he caught Daniel Agger by the looks of things with a flailing arm. And Liverpool have the free kick, and the pressure is relieved well into the last 10 minutes of this game, though. Still level 1-1 at Wembley. Cardiff 1, Liverpool 1. The Welsh side taking the lead through Joe Mason in the first half. That was cancelled out by Martin Skirtle just before the hour mark. It's not been a classic Liverpool performance so far, has it?
It really hasn't. You think you've got to put a lot of that down to the fact that Cardiff have played so well?
Well, Liverpool could be on here. Suarez has found space on the edge of the penalty area. Couldn't quite get a shot away, and he's had to come around to the right hand side. Puts the cross in, and it's nodded behind by Taylor, and it's out for a corner to Liverpool again on this near side, which I'm sure Downing will take and put in exactly the same position that his last few have been put in.
How are Cardiff still going? Because Malky Mackay still has yet.
No changes. Adam takes this corner towards the back post again, flicked away from by Kenny Miller, away from Craig Bellamy, who has managed to recover the situation and found Gerrard, edge of the penalty area. Downing now on the left hand corner of the penalty area, back to Gerrard. He whips the ball in, nodded away. It's only as far as Glenn Johnson, who lines up the shot, goes onto his left hand side, flashes a drive wide of the post. Disappointing really, when there's a lot of men forward for Liverpool. Not a great shot from Glenn Johnson, and with all the big men forward, surely he could work that one wide rather than thrashing it.
He had it set up, and he should have hit it first time, and that's not the first time Liverpool have done that so far. There's been a few chances where Jordan Henderson, Stuart Downing, now Glenn Johnson have had the opportunity to shoot, but they backed out at the last minute, taking the extra touch, and Cardiff defenders have just taken the ball off them,
and it just all again fell down. Cardiff though have the ball. Gusted wins the header and knocks it down for Kenny Miller.
He's still not moving right, Kenny Miller.
They'll not want to lose him though, top goal scorer this season. Cardiff are moving the ball pretty well down onto this left hand side. Cowie knocks it back for Taylor, who plays more of a percentage ball than anything else in towards the corner, towards Whittingham. Skirtle wins the header. I have to say, I'm not sure Mark Hudson has got much of this game left. Anthony Gerrard seems to be absolutely being put through his paces on the touchline just a moment ago. Cowie though has space to cross the ball in towards the back post. Gusted's there, just wide of the post.
What a chance.
Huge chance. I think that was Ben Turner up from the back. Him and Gusted jumped at the back post and just couldn't find the target at the back post. It was a good header. He got up ahead of Jose Enrique and Andy Carroll. And Cardiff, they've got to take these chances when they come. They did it in the first half.
Just seen the replay, that should have been a corner. That hit Jose Enrique on the way out. Goal kick's been given, but that is such a big chance for Cardiff, and so late in the game as well.
Exactly, you'd think a goal now would probably decide the game. We've got 6.5 minutes plus stoppages, of which there haven't really been too many of, so there won't be that much stoppage time.
There's only been one substitution as well, so there's only 30 seconds, so
maybe both managers have half an eye on extra time, given that they've only made one substitution between them. Downing though, he certainly won't want extra time. Finds Suarez on the edge of the box on the half turn. Tried to twist his way through the massed ranks of the Cardiff defence, and Kenny Miller can run away with the ball on this left hand side. And you're right, Chris, he really isn't running particularly smoothly. He's managed to find Whittingham just on the halfway line. Cardiff keeping the ball, trying to maybe take the sting out of this Liverpool pressure. They've been under the cosh for most of this second half, but they've coped with it remarkably well.
That last chance, Luis Suarez, there was 4 Cardiff players in front of him, and instead of playing the easy ball or playing it to one side, he tried to take 4 players on all at once, and the first defender got to him.
I mean, we have seen him do that before when mine goes back towards the Manchester United game where he managed that and set up Dirk Kuyt. More of that maybe later. Yes, Kenny Miller on the ball. It looked like a threatening situation, but his cross towards Gusted was way overhit and straight towards Pepe Reina, who could try and launch a counter-attack. He's found Craig Bellamy, crosses the halfway line and looks for the long ball out wide towards Suarez in space, edge of the penalty area on the corner, just into the penalty box now, and Adam on the shot from the edge of the area, 25 yards out from goals. Decent save in the end from Tom Heaton. It was a very good counter-attack started by Reina, almost finished by Charlie Adam. He cut across the ball
again, straight at the keeper.
Got to try and have a bit more composure. He came across the ball and put some side spin on it. It didn't really threaten Tom Heaton. He had it covered all the way. And yet another chance goes begging. I think we've got another substitute as stripped off down below us for Liverpool. Get more on that in a minute because Gerrard is driving forwards from midfield. So about 30 yards out from goal, and there's 8 Cardiff players between him and the goal, but he's managed to find a ball out to Stuart Downing, 5 yards from the touchline on the right hand side into the penalty area, knocks it back for Glenn Johnson, and his curled shot, I don't know whether it was a shot or a cross, but Suarez was lurking behind Ben Turner, who had to flick his header away for yet another Liverpool corner.
It looks like Jamie Carragher is about to come on, so that must be some kind of injury, because in this situation I can't see Liverpool wanting to bring Jamie Carragher on.
So it's a strange substitution really, and it's Daniel Agger who's coming off, so
he's got to be injured. If you look at his face, he's definitely injured.
He'd recovered from an ankle knock to take his place in the squad today. But that's significantly cut down Kenny Dalglish's options then for the rest of this game. 2 substitutes used. Gerrard with the corner, whips it in towards the penalty spot where Suarez won the header, but he didn't catch it at all, didn't get over it, and it's out for a goal kick to Cardiff. But one more sub left for Liverpool. They certainly wouldn't have wanted to bring Carragher on.
No, we said this about, I think it was just at the start of the second half, we said when you've got Jake Spear and Jamie Carragher and Martin Kelly on the bench, they're only going to come on if there is an injury, hence it must be, because with 86 minutes gone and with the tie desperate to go into destined I should say to go into extra time, you're not going to bring a defender on. Do you know what I mean? It does cut his options down, and now if you look at it, it's going to be unless Liverpool score, you'd think it'd just end up being a straight choice between who he thinks is going to be the game changer better, Dirk Kuyt or Maxi Rodriguez.
Yep, and we may end up finding that out sooner rather than later. We've got 3 minutes plus added time at Wembley. Cardiff 1, Liverpool 1 here on Radio Broadgreen Sport, with you all the way through to the climax of this game. Extra time penalties will be here. Cardiff have got a free kick. They've taken it quickly towards Don Cowie. He's found Miller. Excellent turn. Miller thrashes in a goal, and it's just over the bar. I tell you what, that was a big chance for Cardiff, and Pepe Reina again is going absolutely ballistic at his defence. Very poor. They switched off completely there.
Completely and utterly. The defence went asleep. No one was tracking back. They let Kenny Miller run, and I'm sorry, but that's a chance
he's got to do better than that. Got to do better than that. But Liverpool are on the attack again through Johnson, who spent more time in the Cardiff half than he has in his own. He's found Stuart Downing. He's operating almost in the hole by the looks of things. He's spread it wide to Bellamy, who's taking his place on the left hand side. He finds Enrique back to Bellamy. Good touch again for Kemi McNaughton, who's played very, very well. And he's found Miller, who spreads it wide looking for McNaughton, and I'm not sure McNaughton will be able to catch that. No, just about. He did a very good job of almost trying to keep that in on the far right hand side. But Kenny Miller just put a little bit too much off on that. I think it was Charlie Adams' man, who stood motionless on the edge of the penalty area, and you saw Kenny Miller ran along the Liverpool line, pointed to Don Cowie exactly where he wanted to be. I think it was only Andy Carroll throwing himself in front of the goal that maybe put him off a little bit.
It was easier to finish that. Kenny Miller has absolutely skied that over.
Chance here for Liverpool. Suarez into the penalty area, blocked by Turner, and has he just managed to keep that from going behind for a corner? I think he might have done. Suarez very nearly played in there by Stuart Downing. Sorry, Chris, for cutting across. We almost had a goal there.
That's fine.
It's a throw in for Liverpool. Johnson takes it short to Downing. Corner of the penalty area on this near side, Liverpool's right. Plays it to Gerrard. Whips the ball in, and it just doesn't beat the first man. And it's back out towards Enrique. tracked all the way by Joe Mason. He's managed to halt Enrique's progress. And Gerrard fired a ball in. And it didn't quite have... It was a bizarre sequence of events. Gerrard fired a ball in. It was cleared by the Cardiff defenders. But then it hit the goalkeeper, it hit the referee, and very nearly fell for Charlie Adams to have a hit.
And now Jamie Carragher grabbed the ball and dived as if he scored in the try.
I mean, yeah, we were talking about the rugby before, but it was a very, very strange sequence.
What poor control by the referee.
It's hit the referee almost in the face. Miller has tried to put in Rudy Gestede, who's been wrestled to the ground by Jamie Carragher. Cowie's trying to take the free kick quickly. He's almost mounted Carragher from behind, and Carragher just collapses on top of the ball, almost as if, like you say, he was David Strattle yesterday and trying to score a try. But Cardiff have another chance to toss the ball in towards Gestede, who wins the header straight to Pepe Reina, and he takes the kick long, looking for Suarez. He's flicked on. Inadvertently behind McNaughton. Suarez is into the penalty area. Poor touch, and he's being driven wide. Tries to poke it towards the far top corner, and that's a poor decision making again from Luis Suarez. 4 minutes left now of added time. We've had 20 seconds of those, and that was a big chance.
That sums up Luis Suarez's game. He's done absolutely nothing all game. All he had to do there was nice control, chest it down, and the control was absolutely awful. And what was he trying to do there?
As well, because just out of shot, Luis Suarez, as he tries to flick that with the outside of his right foot, Craig Bellamy arrives at the edge of the penalty area. Poor decision making from Luis Suarez, you have to say. That was a really, really big chance, and all came from a long ball from Pepe Reina. Just a mistake from Cardiff, and that could well be the big chance. Cardiff are on the attack again. Cowie tries to go around the outside of Johnson, and he's done very well. Johnson can break here on the right hand side, finds Downing up against Taylor in the left back position. Downing goes to the byline, tries to cut it back with his right foot, and a corner to Liverpool. 2.5 minutes of injury time remain. Liverpool have a corner on this near side. They've struggled to deal with Liverpool's threat from corners, Cardiff, throughout this game. But Downing has decided to take it short to Johnson on the edge of the box. It's thought to shoot with his left foot. Gerrard tries to curl one, and it's over the bar. And that was, again, not the greatest corner routine in the world from Liverpool. You can see what they were trying to do. It didn't quite work. Gerrard on the edge of the D, curling a shot a long way over the bar.
That's a chance for Steven Gerrard. We know how well he can strike the ball, and that is a good chance, and he's just skied it yet again.
It looks very much like we're heading towards extra time here at Wembley then. There's 2 minutes left. I hope he gives us time. Chris has been with me. Would you use your expert opinion for your man of the match today?
I think there's two. Stuart Downing's probably had one of the best games in a Liverpool shirt today. He really has. But for me, it's got to be Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson has defended well. He's been up and down that wing. He hasn't let anybody get past him. But he's also been in a lot of the attacking play. And I think Glenn Johnson has to be man of the match today.
I cannot disagree with you at all. He's been superb, Glenn Johnson, today. One special mention, though, I have to say. Mark Hudson of Cardiff, the captain. He's probably been the best player in blue. He's been superb. He's thrown himself in front of absolutely everything.
How's he still on the pitch as well?
I can only assume it was only cramp that he went down with before, but it didn't look good for a long time. A long punt by Pepe Reina has been salvaged by Suarez. He's put Turner under a lot of pressure, and Turner's done very, very well indeed. Suarez was trying to turn him. Suarez thought he won a corner, but in fact Turner just played it off his shins, and it's a goal kick to Cardiff with just a minute remaining.
Very forlorn in this second half, Luis Suarez. He's getting very frustrated. Nothing seems to be going his way. And it was a good decision yet again.
The Liverpool fans behind that goal did not agree with that decision, but you have to say congratulations to Simon Beck. You've managed to call it a lot more successfully than either of us or 50,000 Liverpool fans have this afternoon. So 30 seconds left. Is there enough time for another Cardiff City attack? They're the ones with the ball. Kenny Miller jumping for the high ball, couldn't get anything on it, and it rolls through for Pepe Reina. Surely there must be enough time for one more Liverpool chance. The Cardiff City fans whistling for the full-time whistle. Malky Mackay barking orders at his charges, desperate not to lose a goal here. This has been the cruelest way possible. They've been excellent. Gerrard winds up a long ball looking for Downing. It's an excellent ball, and Downing's touch, we've just been praising him, absolutely horrendous touch in that position.
It's the second time Steven Gerrard's hit a crossfield pass and Stuart Downing hasn't been able to control it.
So poor. And with that, Mark Clattenburg has his whistle in his mouth, and there is the final whistle gone from Mark Clattenburg. We're going to have another 30 minutes here at Wembley. Liverpool with, frankly, an incredible dominance of this game so far. Couldn't find a way through in the second half. Joe Mason's early goal in the 19th minute gave Cardiff the lead, but it was a scrappy one really from Martin Skirtle after the just on the hour mark that levelled it up for Liverpool. Really, you can't say Cardiff don't deserve that.
Not at all. Not at all. And I did say I think it'd be a tougher game than most people thought. The last time Liverpool played, as I said before, non-top division in a final was Birmingham at Cardiff in the League Cup final, 1-1 draw, which went to penalties.
Exactly, and we could end up having exactly the same thing here. We have a short break in play while the last minute tactical instructions and whatnot are being conveyed to the players. We'll cross back now very briefly to the Broadgreen studio, and we're back in a few minutes time. We'll bring you every kick of extra time in the Carling Cup final. It's finished here through 90 minutes. Cardiff City 1, Liverpool 1.
Thanks, guys. Liverpool grabbing an equaliser but not being able to score a second or even a third goal to go on to win the game. Crossing back over to Dan and Chris at Wembley soon, but a quick recap of the goals of the game so far. Starting with Joe Mason's opener on 19 minutes for Cardiff.
Kenny Miller on the edge of the box. Lovely ball. Mason through the legs of Pepe Reina, and Cardiff take the lead. 19 minutes gone, and Joe Mason has scored for Cardiff. They lead by a goal to nil. It was an excellent move from Cardiff. Liverpool could not clear their lines, and Kenny Miller turns provider for Cardiff. Surprise could be on. Cardiff City 1, Liverpool 0. 90 minutes played at Wembley.
It took Liverpool a while in the second half to grab an equaliser. There was a bit of a confusion in front of the goal line after a post was hit by Luis Suarez, but on 60 minutes Martin Skirtle was able to score the rebound.
Downing takes it, clips it in against, looking for Carroll on the box, off the post, and Skirtle into the back of the net from the corner. Stuart Downing knocked it in towards Andy Carroll, who won the header. Suarez hit the post, and then for the follow-up, Martin Skirtle, who's had a torrid old time in this game, he reacted quicker and a real poacher's finish. Liverpool have the equaliser. It's Cardiff 1, Liverpool 1.
Few quick match facts. Liverpool's domination of the match continued, at least on shots on goal. It was 15 shots on goal in the first half, and by the end of 90 minutes, Liverpool have had a total of 30 shots, whilst 15 of those have been on target. 56% possession to Liverpool's favour, 44% to Cardiff. But it's what you do with the ball that counts. And for me personally, I think Cardiff have had a few of the better chances. In particular, Kenny Miller's shot towards the end of 90 minutes, near the end of the second half there, was skied into the stands. If that had gone in, it could have been a totally different game and it could have ended up with a Cardiff win. But other than that, they've had 8 shots in total with 4 on target. And I think they'll be ruining their missed chances at the end of 90 minutes just as much as Liverpool have. We've got a few short messages and then we'll be heading back to Dan and Chris at Wembley for the second half, so don't go away. You're listening to Radio Broadgreen Sport. It's currently extra time, first period in the Carling Cup final. Cardiff versus Liverpool. It's currently 1-1 and we're heading back over to Wembley now, where we're joined by Chris Orme and first, Daniel Jameson.
Thank you very much, Chris. As you said, 1-1, it finished through 90 minutes. We're into extra time, and I think if you had any doubt at all the mindset of these two managers, maybe this will make your minds up. Malky Mackay has made a change at the break there. Goal scorer Joe Mason has gone off. He's been replaced by Filip Kiss, who's a holding midfielder. He's on loan from Slovan Bratislava, and maybe that's showing us that Cardiff more than happy for penalties.
Well, yeah, we said this before, haven't we? They've been to penalties twice, they've been to extra time 4 times, so this will probably suit them situation wise.
They've got the form. You have to say, Liverpool have taken kick-off in this first period, playing from right to left at the break there. Goal scorer Joe Mason has gone off. He's been replaced by Filip Kiss, who's a holding midfielder. He's on loan from Slovan Bratislava, and maybe that's showing us that Cardiff more than happy for penalties.
Well, yeah, we said this before, haven't we? They've been to penalties twice, they've been to extra time, was it 4 times? So this will probably suit them situation-wise.
They've got the form. You have to say, Liverpool have taken kick-off in this first period, playing from right to left. Suarez has a go from a long way out. It was just clawed behind from Heaton. Liverpool playing from right to left in this first period of extra time, 15 minutes before the change around. It was Craig Bellamy who just changed the pace of the attack, and Suarez about 25 yards out. Tried to find the bottom corner. Tom Heaton was equal to it and palms it behind for yet another corner. It's the 15th corner so far for Liverpool. Craig Bellamy's going to take it on this near side. Whips it in towards the back post, and where's Carroll's waiting off the line? Off the line from Cardiff. It was Carroll's Suarez's header rather. He holds his head, and I think it's the man who's just come on, Philip Kiss, on the back post. He's kept Cardiff in this. A goal here, having made the negative substitution, may just spell the end for the Bluebirds.
It was great. It shows what can happen when you've got good quality from the corners.
It was a brilliant corner, and there's another chance for some quality crossing here from Downing, who on the right hand side. I think that took a flick off Taylor, and it's behind for another corner. It was Anthony Taylor, actually, Andrew Taylor rather, who was on the back post. It was Suarez's header. He's not the biggest man. Somehow in the land of the giants is the Cardiff City penalty area. He managed to win the header, forced it goalwards, but it was met by Taylor and cleared away by Cardiff City. Bellamy will take this corner again on the near side. Plays it short this time to Enrique on the edge of the box. Locks it back for Gerrard. He's not found his shooting boots today. Thrashed that one quite a long way over, really, and a long way wide. right into the back of the stand behind the Cardiff goal.
That's some Steven Gerrard's day up. Every opportunity he's had to take a pot shot, it's been high and wide, not on target. Hasn't been his day. His passing's been brilliant, but his finishing's been awful.
He's had a few chances from around the edge of the box where it's been cut back towards him, and he just hasn't managed to make the goalkeeper work. Not really made that many saves, Tom Heaton. Certainly not as many as he made in the semi-final, where he was the absolute penalty-saving hero. Shouldn't forget that he managed to save 2 penalties in the semi-final against Crystal Palace that Cardiff won 3-1 on penalties. So we've got, if it does go the whole distance, we've got 2 goalkeepers who are very much the top of their game and a bit of a penalty saving specialist.
Yeah, Pepe Reina was always known in Spain as a penalty taking specialist, and just the Cardiff goalkeeper's proven himself this season. So considering, I think what you said, Dan, was one of the penalty shootouts Cardiff won 7-6 or 7-5.
They won against Leicester City in the third round 7-6, and they won in the semi-final 3-1 against Crystal Palace, as the ball's tossed in towards the box by Cardiff, towards Gestede again. They're really looking for his height in the penalty area. Cleared away by Liverpool, and Cardiff go long yet again. It's too long. Straight to Pepe Reina. But you're saying that Cardiff really do have form when it comes to penalties, as do the goalkeepers. I mean, never mind Tom Heaton on saving the 2 penalties in the Carling Cup. Even their substitute goalkeeper, David Marshall, when he was at Celtic, he managed to save the penalty in the Nou Camp from Ronaldinho, of all people, back in the same season that Ronaldinho won.
Judging on the way we're bigging these goalkeepers up, we'll be lucky if 1 penalty's scored, if it goes that far at the minute. And I suppose 1 will have to be scored, otherwise we'll
eventually.
Be
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how late the trains run from Wembley back up to Liverpool, but I'd rather not.
Is there?
Gerrard takes the free kick in towards Suarez, who was offside. It was a very odd sort of free kick from Steven Gerrard there, about 40 yards out from goal. Clipped it in towards Suarez, who made a run across along the Cardiff City defensive line. He was just about offside, and his flick at the outside of his foot wasn't on target anyway. So, and even if it was, it wouldn't have counted.
You can tell looking at, he's not right, Luis Suarez, is he? He looks quite full on. He looks quite down with the whole situation. He hasn't really done much. Yeah, he's hit the post, but other than that, he hasn't really done much in this game.
No, he's not really been his usual effervescent self, has he? He's not really been buzzing around and harassing and haranguing defenders as he usually does. And Enrique, speaking of harassing defenders, has been harassed by Philip Kiss, and Kenny Miller won the ball and tried to put a cross in. It was headed away by Liverpool, and eventually it's gone out off Philip Kiss and out for a Liverpool throw in deep inside their own half, which Enrique will take. No real clear-cut chances so far in extra time. Still delicately poised, 1 goal apiece. Cardiff taking the lead. Their goal scorer Joe Mason's gone off at full time just before the extra time period started. Liverpool's equaliser coming from the unlikely source of Martin Skirtle, and Liverpool are on the attack here. Downing had a man wide to his left but decided to cut back inside, and Chris to my left is beating the air with frustration. Again, Bellamy was out on the left wing. An easy 10-yard ball for Bellamy from Downing, and yet he turned inside and lost the ball, and Cardiff have it back.
It's not even just that. He was looking to set himself up for the shot, and yet again he backed out of it, and then instead of passing, he then tried to take it inside right into 2 defenders who just got the better of him. Exactly, and it's not been the greatest of performances really so far from either Liverpool or Mr. Downing. And a couple of flashes of brilliance in the second half, a couple of good balls across, but nobody really attacking them. And maybe that's part of Kenny Dalglish's thinking, because it looks very much on the other side of the pitch to where we're sitting that Dirk Kuyt may well be the next Liverpool substitution. Only 1 left. He's warming up. Cardiff have a free kick though. Whittingham takes straight, as you can probably tell, into the arms of Pepe Reina. Disappointing free kick again from Whittingham. He has a reputation, a well-deserved reputation as a bit of a free kick specialist, but he's not shown it today, and Liverpool are on the counter-attack through Jose Enrique. 7 Cardiff players now back to face Bellamy, who knocks it back for Gerrard. Enrique, edge of the penalty area, tries to put a cross in, but that was far too close to the goalkeeper, and Tom Heaton comes out to collect on his 6-yard line. The only substitution, if Dirk Kuyt is going to come on, it can only be for Stuart Downing. I'd be surprised if he took either Luis Suarez or Andy Carroll off, considering there is a chance of a penalty shootout. Stuart Downing, he's been good, but he seems to have dropped a bit since he got switched over to this right-hand side. He's not really had as much of the ball as he is. Philip Kiss is waltzing through the Liverpool defence. Nobody really tackled him, and he had a crash from 20 yards out. It took a deflection and bobbled through towards Pepe Reina in goal. He beat Carroll, he beat Gerrard, he beat Adam. He almost had the better of Carragher as well before he took his shot. It was a disappointing one in the end. Going back to the possible substitution, if he does end up taking Downing off, then that's a very, very attacking lineup. 4 strikers will be on the pitch. As we see a replay on our monitors, Craig Bellamy maybe getting a little bit feisty, not liking the tackle from Philip Kiss. Decided to give him it wasn't the best of challenges, shall we put it that way, but I'd be surprised if Craig Bellamy didn't react like that. That's just the type of temperament he's got. Now, we wondered how long Mark Hudson would last. Had a fitness test on his calf before the game, went down with cramp as well, with about 15-20 minutes left to go, and unfortunately his afternoon is over as he applauds the fans off the pitch. He's being substituted with 8 minutes of extra time gone. He's been outstanding today, Mark Hudson, and he deserves the standing ovation that he's getting from the Cardiff City fans. I think he's probably one of the major reasons why Cardiff are still in this game. The amount of challenges he's put in, the amount of blocks, the amount of tracking he's done as well, and the fact that neither of us thought after he passed that fitness test but then went down with cramp, we didn't think he'd last the 90 minutes, let alone carry on into extra time. No, but he's done very, very well. He's gone off and he's been replaced by Anthony Gerrard, cousin of Liverpool captain Stephen. I can't wait for the first challenge in that one. It'll be interesting to see just what sort of reception they give each other. So very unfortunate for Mark Hudson. He's been very good this season, led by example. Mind you, Anthony Gerrard hasn't exactly been poor either. He spent last season on loan at Hull City. He was voted Hull Player of the Season last year. So he's by no means just some lower league clogger. He's got a bit of quality about him. He'll have to show it in this one as well. He's got to carry on. If Cardiff want to stay in this, he's just got to carry on where the Cardiff City captain's just carried on and gone off. Exactly. Liverpool are on the attack here. They're through Downing, who cuts inside onto his left foot, has a go from a long way out, and that's one of the worst shots you'll see all day, really. Maybe that's why he wasn't shooting in the first half and the second half. That's a poor effort. Yeah, if you're calling him all half for not shooting, then apparently this is what happens when he does. That's gone, I think it's gone about 20 yards wide and probably the same amount over the goal. Jeez. Surely he must be next in line to be replaced. Both sides have one substitute remaining, and Well, looking at that, it can't be any other substitution other than Stuart Downing off and Dirk Kuyt on. It would extremely surprise me if Kenny Dalglish did anything else but that.
Carroll has nodded a towering header forwards towards Suarez, who's defended very well by Gerrard, but Anthony Gerrard, of course. We'll have to start qualifying which one we're talking about. Now we've got both of them on the pitch, and Liverpool still have the ball midway inside the Cardiff half on the right hand side. Johnson outside of his foot to Downing, whips it in left footed towards Carroll, miles over him, and that'll ball behind for a goal kick to Cardiff. Looking at the Cardiff bench, they have one substitution remaining. We saw Kenny Miller pull up in the second half rather. I was surprised he's maybe made it all the way to the end of the game. The one name that does stand out on the Cardiff City bench, Rob Earnshaw. There are goals in him.
He's proven it was the only player to get a hat-trick in every domestic English league.
He's got a hat-trick. It's been trotted out by every commentator this side of anywhere. He is the only person to have scored a hat-trick in all 4 divisions of English League football: the FA Cup, the League Cup, and for his international side.
Proven. But the only problem with him is he seems to be turning into a journeyman. He's racking the club as much as he racks the hat-tricks up. He's been racking the clubs up as well.
Yeah, but the thing is that as much as he is racking the clubs up, everywhere he's been, he's scored goals. But Liverpool are on the attack here. Gerrard on the right hand side puts it low and hard, and it's blocked by his cousin, and out for a goal. It's a goal kick, a corner kick rather, to Liverpool on the far side. A different approach there from Gerrard, going out wide and driving into the penalty area and trying to put a low ball in towards the waiting Suarez. It was well defended again by Cardiff City. Stuart Downing is going to take this 3 minutes left of extra time. Drifts it in towards Carroll with the header. That was the closest he's come. He made a run towards the front post, arched his back, flicked it towards the back post of the Cardiff City goal, and it must have missed by no more than about a yard or two. Excellent climb above Ben Turner and a brilliant header. And I tell you what, that is very, very close indeed. That's a matter of inches.
They even had a man on the line, and it was just. They even had a man on the line, and he wouldn't have got it if that was on target.
No, and we were talking about this substitution, and Chris, unfortunately, you won't be very happy because Dirk Kuyt is coming on, but he's coming on in place of Andy Carroll. What do you make of that?
Interesting, very interesting. I don't know if Kenny Dalglish has got penalties in mind, because we know Dirk Kuyt is a good penalty taker, but it's not the substitution I would have made. Must mean Dirk Kuyt's now playing up front as the lone striker?
It looks like Suarez is at the moment, we'll have to see how it all pans out, but Suarez at the moment was the most advanced member of the Liverpool team, with Kuyt sort of buzzing around as he does just behind him. But maybe penalties are on his mind.
That's the only thing I can think, because if you want to be attacking and you want to get a goal, Andy Carroll hasn't had the best game, but he has had some.
Oh, lovely little ball over the top from Enrique, who's looking for Suarez, who's maybe a couple of yards away from getting just a little bit too much on it. Cardiff wanted the offside flag, which never came. Suarez maybe starting to sparkle a little bit against a tiring Cardiff City defence. They've had a lot to do defensively, blocking, and they've had to deal with Andy Carroll, of course, which is no mean feat. And Bellamy is now on the ball. He's found Kuyt, plays the 1-2. Bellamy inside the box, left-hand side of goal. Bellamy comes back onto his right foot and bends the ball just over the top of the bar, looking for that top corner that Glenn Johnson rattled within the first minute. And Bellamy starting to make Liverpool tick. He drove forward from inside his own half, played a brilliant 1-2 with Dirk Kuyt, a long-range 1-2 as well, cut in onto his right foot, took a couple of touches and was whiskers away from giving Liverpool the lead.
You can see the Cardiff are starting to tire now. A lot of the players are stretching, they're on the floor. On that last corner, you had the Cardiff player on each post who was stretching the hamstrings out. I think the pace of the game and the amount of work they've had to do is now starting to take the toll, and maybe Cardiff have said that they're happy for penalties.
Well, perhaps that's part of Kenny Dalglish is thinking of bringing Dirk Kuyt on, because one thing he does do, he works hard.
He does, and it's a bit of freshness up front. And Dirk Kuyt hasn't got the best pace in the world, but he's got more pace than Andy Carroll. So
this is true. It's not saying a lot. Enrique now on the left hand side, trying to attack. Good tackle from Philip Kiss. He's done well since he's come on, the Slovakian. He's been very tidy in possession. Found Peter Whittingham has It's back with Kiss on just inside the Cardiff half on this near right hand side. There's an advantage played there by the referee for a foul on Whittingham. The advantage disappeared and the referee hasn't brought it back, but Liverpool won't mind it. Into the 1 minute of added time, about 20 seconds of it. Downing running up the left back on the Liverpool right hand side, plays it back to Charlie Adam, lays it off for Glenn Johnson, left footed drive, and it's very close indeed towards Tom Heaton's left hand post. It just didn't quite catch it right, dragged it just a touch. Charlie Adam laid him off about just outside the D of the penalty area, and that was no more than a yard wide again, looking for that bottom right hand corner as Johnson looked at it. And that's very probably the last action of this first half of extra time. Less than 10 seconds to go until the break, and if we have no more goals in the next 15 minutes, the dreaded penalty shootout. And having said that, there it is. Mark Clattenburg blows the whistle. Half time in extra time at Wembley. Cardiff City 1, Liverpool 1. The managers come on to give it a last minute team talk. We'll hand you back to the Broadgreen studio, and Chris Byrne will be back for the second half of extra time. 15 minutes to try and find a goal. It's half time in extra time. Cardiff 1, Liverpool 1.
Thanks for that, Dan. It's still 1-1. We've got 15 minutes left, the second half of extra time, and then who knows, if it's still level, we could see a penalty shootout. I bet quite a lot of neutrals and maybe a few Everton fans amongst you may be praying for that to happen, because it'll be an exciting climactic end to what has been a great day for sport and for Radio Broadgreen. Stay with us, because we'll be going back over to Wembley very shortly. Back over to Wembley now to Jan Jameson and Chris Orme.
Thank you very much, Chris. We've just kicked off the second half of extra time, and Liverpool are on the attack on the right hand side. Downing tries to get a low cross in, cleared away by Ben Turner, who's been a colossus for Cardiff at the back. You've missed absolutely nothing. It is still 1-1, and Cardiff prepare to make their final substitution. It's Darcy Blake who's going to come on. A bit of a utility man, Welsh international, coming on for Kevin McNaughton. He'll probably fill in at right back there.
Tell you what though, it's a surprise considering there's penalties coming up. Unless that's an injury, I'm with you, then I would have assumed that Robert Earnshaw would have come on.
Yeah, perhaps it's a bit of a surprise there, really. Because Earnshaw, he has taken penalties in the past. I'm not sure that Darcy Blake has a particularly good penalty record or not. I suppose we'll find out in 15 minutes' time if we have no more goals. Liverpool certainly won't want penalties, though. They're on the attack on the right hand side of the Cardiff pressure, which has been relentless throughout the game. They've been absolutely superb, you have to say. They really do not deserve to concede a goal. Their sheer defensive work rate, and they've forced Liverpool all the way back to Jamie Carragher. Liverpool, though, in possession. We have 15 minutes here, and if there's no more goals, we're going for penalties. Liverpool have got the ball, though, on Dirk Kuyt, tries to play it short. It's a low cross towards Suarez, and couldn't get it out of his feet, and again his first touch has let him down. It was a long ball from Jamie Carragher, missed by the left back. It fell to the feet of Dirk Kuyt. He said thank you very much, put a low cross in. He found Suarez and he just couldn't get it out of his feet again.
That's the second time today the cross was coming. The first Liverpool players completely missed it, and Luis Suarez couldn't mop up and finish it off. It was slightly, give him a bit of credit, it was slightly behind him and it was tough to control, but he should have done better.
It did come at him very, very quickly. Craig Bellamy actually was at the front post and allowed it to run through his legs for Suarez. Perhaps more worryingly for Cardiff, and that's more excitingly for Liverpool, left back Andrew Taylor didn't look like he was moving particularly well. But there's a goal! As we're saying that, Dirk Kuyt has managed to score.
That came from absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely out of the blue. He was running at the Cardiff back line, tried to swing a crossing towards Luis Suarez. It was poorly cleared. It fell back at the feet of Kuyt, who just hit it towards goal, and it's crept in the near post of Tom Heaton's goal, and Liverpool take the lead 2-1.
I don't really know what to say about that one. It came from absolutely nothing. I think the initial one was an actual shot that rebounded back to him, and he's hit it. He's fallen over as he's hit it, but the accuracy straight in the bottom corner, no chance for the goalkeeper.
It was a dreadful first attempt from Dirk Kuyt. I think it was actually Anthony Gerrard maybe whose clearance was straight back to Dirk Kuyt. He hit it first time towards the near post, and it's crept in through past Tom Heaton. And it's Cardiff 1, Liverpool 2. 12 minutes remain then at Wembley for Cardiff to find the equaliser that would take it to penalties.
I'm still quite shocked by that because it did come out of absolutely nothing whatsoever.
Well, you saw how it came out of absolutely nothing. We were talking about the Cardiff City left back.
It was a poor effort of a shot first time, but then the second one was he slipped over, but he hit it with that much accuracy. The keeper stood absolutely no chance.
It was a completely innocuous move as well. Glenn Johnson just found Dirk Kuyt just inside the Cardiff half, and he started driving towards the Cardiff back line. Nobody came out to close him down. He was allowed 2 goes at it, fell over on his second one, and it still managed to creep into the goal. Liverpool won't mind one bit, and perhaps those slightly defensive Cardiff changes may come back to bite Malky Mackay.
I was going to say, at this point now, you would hope you'd have one substitution up your sleeve, get Robert Earnshaw on, and let him do what he needed to do. But unfortunately, Malky Mackay, I think a little bit of naivety and a little bit too defensive too early.
Exactly. Liverpool have another chance here. Gerrard has found Suarez. He looks for Craig Bellamy through the middle. Very poor ball. Suarez has not had a good game. As John Henry and his wife looking much happier than when we saw them in the first half, aren't they?
He does look quite happy, but whenever you see them at a Liverpool game, she always looks a lot happier than he does to be there.
She quite enjoys it, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's a lot. I don't mean this in a bad way, but she's a lot more fanatical and into the club than John Henry is.
Yeah, I mean, as well, she's always on Twitter as well, talking about Liverpool, which is, I think, it's quite a nice touch. Cardiff desperately trying to find any way through, and there's another man down with cramps. Aaron Gunnarsson, he's put a lot of work in today. He's really struggling with cramp. He went down towards the end of the first half as well.
I think I have to eat my words a bit there, because I didn't see how bringing Dirk Kuyt on for Andy Carroll could be the best thing, but you know,
I wasn't going to question your tactical knowledge, Chris.
I have to be honest, and that's why Kenny Dalglish is a manager and I'm not. It was obviously a good decision.
Well, it certainly paid dividends here, because 10 minutes left for Cardiff to try and find an equaliser. They have the ball through Whittingham. He's shoved off it by Craig Bellamy. The referee saw nothing wrong with it. It didn't seem to be much wrong. And Liverpool have the ball back. Enrique goes long, looking for Suarez, who's offside.
Far too many times Luis Suarez has been caught offside.
Just invites pressure back on, because Cardiff have a free kick just inside their own half. Just load the big men up. Gusted has proven how much trouble he's caused the Liverpool back line already today. I'll tell you what, Aaron Gunnarsson's really struggling here. The Cardiff have used all 3 substitutions, and as Anthony Gerrard's flicked it on towards Turner, he's got the ball back, and Miller was there again, and now Glenn Johnson is the man that's struggling with Cardiff dropping like flies. That was almost a chance for Cardiff. Anthony Gerrard flicked the free kick on. It found the Cardiff man on the left hand side. His low cross was put behind by Skirtle as Kenny Miller was really waiting, and Gunnarsson can throw the ball in long. It's dealt with very well by Charlie Adam, and it's back to Gunnarsson. He's really struggling to walk here. He cannot move, but Liverpool can't. Cardiff keep giving the ball to Gunnarsson. He can't run. He's telling them, don't give the ball to me. He found Cowie instead on the right hand side, and he finds Gunnarsson. He won't thank him for that at all. Cowie plays it in towards the back post. Kiss is there, but it's cleared away very well by Jose Enrique, and Suarez can try and challenge Darcy Blake. The Cardiff man does well, and it's back for Cowie. Cardiff have the ball inside their own half. I cannot believe that the players are dropping like absolute flies. There must be 3 or 4 on both sides who are really struggling to walk.
Kenny Miller's still struggling. He hasn't got the pace he had in the first half. He's struggling with a bit of a niggle in his hamstring. We've got another Cardiff player down.
Rudy Gusted is now he's got back to his feet, but very, very slowly. I think he's feeling the effects of an excellent game up front, running the line for Cardiff as the ball's tossed in towards him. Elbowed off the ball, Gusted by Skirtle. The referee saw nothing wrong with it. Probably a good job too, because that would have been a free kick in a very difficult position for Liverpool to defend. The ball's cleared, and Suarez can tidy things up. Plays it back to Downing, who flicks it inside for Dirk Kuyt in space. Charlie Adam tries to spread the play and bring Bellamy in, but the ball is overhit towards the left hand side, and Craig Bellamy gives him a bit of a mouthful to let him know what he thought of that ball.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. He wanted the ball, the easy ball played along the floor, but Charlie Adam decided to take the aerial route overhit it far too much. Craig Bellamy didn't stand a chance with that one.
Cardiff becoming more and more desperate here. The free kick is again launched long towards Gusted, who wins the header. No Cardiff player really in the vicinity, and Gusted has absolutely been flattened here. And the Cardiff physios are having to come on. It looks like he's taken a knock to the back of his head. He won the header again. I think he's won every single header he's gone up for, but there's just no Cardiff player anywhere near him. And unfortunately, with 6 minutes left, just gone, exactly 6 minutes left for Cardiff to find some sort of equaliser. Otherwise, Liverpool are going to have their first silverware. It's the FA Cup all the way back 6 years ago.
What a game that was as well against West Ham United. That went to penalties.
One of the best free kick FA Cup finals in recent memory, really.
Yeah, it was one of the strangest as well. Hence, Paul Konchesky scoring a goal from the cross. It was as we know, that was another final, Dan, where players were dropping like flies, including Steven Gerrard, who still popped up.
Exactly. I've never quite seen one player though who's struggling with cramp quite so much, be involved with play quite so much as Aaron Gunnarsson has been for Cardiff. They keep giving the ball to him.
The poor fella's standing there going, just pass it past me, just pass it. But they keep knocking it to him and making him take a touch, and he's struggling to even stand up.
He's not enjoying it, I have to say. Heaton goes long from the ball given back to him by Liverpool. But Skirtle has finally decided to win his battles against Gusted and wins the ball back, but Cardiff have got it back. Liverpool can't make it stick. Bit of pressure building. 5 minutes to go until the end of extra time. Blake finds Cowie on the right hand side. He finds Whittingham. Thought about the shot, decided against it. He's got nothing wide, so he goes wide instead. Plays the 1-2 down out on the right hand side. Crosses it in left-footed. Miller was there, waiting behind Martin Skirtle, who just about managed to get the header away. If he hadn't made that, Miller was in, and surely would have made no mistake from 6 yards out. Cardiff go long again, looking for Gusted. Wins the header. Johnson's left it, and now here's Turner on the left hand side. Wins the corner off Glenn Johnson. Not impressive defending from the England man.
Glenn Johnson should have just hit that straight out of play.
And you can hear the roar from the Cardiff City fans, what it means to them. They've got a corner down on this near side there. They're left. Liverpool are going to have to defend this because they've got a lot of big men forwards. Gusted's in there, as is Turner, as is Anthony Gerrard. How he'd love to get a goal. Down Cowie looks for the head of Taylor, but Pepe Reina came out, made an excellent punch, and Dirk Kuyt completes the clearance. Throw in now for Cardiff, and another chance for Gunnarsson to wind this one up and launch it into the penalty area.
At least his arms are still working anyway.
I think that's the only reason they probably kept him on the pitch, because he is very, very threatening from situations such as this. Launches it in, reached the penalty area. It's bounced once, Gusted's in there, and it's another corner. Skirtle had to be sure and made sure Gusted couldn't get a shot away on the turn.
Paul Gunnarsson struggling to even walk up to take the throw in there, but he still managed to reach the penalty area from 30-40 yards out.
It's a phenomenal throw. Cardiff have 7 men forwards for Whittingham's free kick. It's a good one as well. Rayner's lost it. Gusted off the line by Dirk Kuyt, and Gerrard knocks it behind for a corner. How close do Cardiff want to get?
I always knew Dirk Kuyt was the man to come on for Andy Carroll.
It was Philip Kiss with the header off the line from Dirk Kuyt. Oh my word, Cardiff, another corner, whipped in towards the front post, again off the line, Turner, goal for Cardiff. Cardiff have got a second equaliser. It's Ben Turner. He whips his shirt off and draws towards the Cardiff fans. They've looked threatening for corners all afternoon, and Whittingham's delivery finally pays dividends. 2-2.
Pressure. It was a great corner and an absolutely great. It was a bit of a scramble in there, but there was no certainty from the Liverpool defence, and what a great finish that was.
I think Ben Turner will take the yellow card. It was a brilliant free kick from Whittingham. Gusted won the first header. Kuyt stopped it on the line again, but he fell over from his clearance, and Turner reacted quickest, poked it through the legs of Pepe Reina. Cardiff have equalised, and with 2 minutes left of extra time, we could well again be looking at penalties.
It seems to be a centre-half scoring game today, because that's both centre-half scoring after a scramble from a corner, so what a game this has been, and we have to be completely honest and say it's not as if Cardiff didn't deserve it.
They certainly haven't. They didn't deserve to concede the goal in extra time. It has actually been a very, very good cup tie, this one. It's been back and forward, not a huge amount of clear-cut chances, but Cardiff have really, really played their part today. They've done the Championship proud, you have to say. They've made Liverpool really work hard. And it certainly isn't over yet. 2 minutes, Suarez on the right-hand side, nutmegs Gunnarsson, looks for the cross towards the back post, and Heaton just about flicks it away, and Kiss knocks it out for a throw-in on the far side, which Enrique will take. Level with the edge of the penalty area on the far side. Gerrard nods it down for Enrique. Gives it back to Gerrard on the left-hand touchline. Inside for Charlie Adam. Now Carragher finds Johnson, who's in a lot of space, 40 yards out from goal, right-hand side of the penalty area. Kaut in the box, goes around the outside, tries to find the shot, and it's behind off Taylor for another corner. Less into the final minute here of the Carling Cup final, live here on Radio Broadgreen. 29 minutes and 20 seconds gone. This could well be the last chance for Liverpool to try and find a winner before we go into penalties. It's Cardiff 2, Liverpool 2. We thought that Dirk Kout's goal had found a way through as the corner comes in. Brilliant header again from the goal scorer for Cardiff, Ben Turner, who's been an absolute monster. You might want to revise who you give man of the match to. As Liverpool try and get it back in, and Gunnarsson flicks it behind for another corner. Suarez is lurking there. It's a good job. Gunnarsson could just about stretch his legs to put that behind for a corner. 5 seconds remaining. This is going to be the last action of the second half of extra time. That's the 30 minutes of extra time gone. 1 minute of added time to go. Bellamy whips the corner in towards Skirtle at the front post. Kout's there on the overhead, flicked away, and Gunnarsson hammers it clear somehow with his cramp-ridden calves. And Carragher has it inside his own half. Plenty men forward still though. Enrique goes long, hits Gested, and it's out for a throw-in on the far side. No, Don Cowie keeps it in, goes long, but he's giving it away. Enrique finds Charlie Adam in the centre circle. 30 seconds remaining. Can Liverpool find another goal? Johnson on the right-hand side. Can he get a good cross in? It's a low one. It hits again Aaron Gunnarsson. As much as he can't move, he's been in the right position 3 times now.
He's just throwing his body in the way and throwing everything.
15 seconds remaining. Charlie Adam goes long towards the far side and looking for Enrique, but it's headed away, and Philip Kiss can run it. And if he can keep the ball, he can almost guarantee a chance at penalties. And he keeps the ball, and there is the final whistle. A fantastic final between Cardiff and Liverpool. The Welsh side took the lead after just 19 minutes. Joe Mason with a poacher's finish, equalised on the hour mark by Martin Skirtle. Dirk Kuyt thought he'd won it for Liverpool with a goal in the second half of extra time, but just with 3 minutes to go, Ben Turner scored another goal for Cardiff. It's finished here after extra time. Cardiff 2, Liverpool 2. We'll go back to the Radio Broadgreen studio, and Chris Byrne will come back to us here at Wembley as the Carling Cup Final 2012 goes to penalties.
Thanks again, guys. Another unbelievable twist. It was 1-1 going into extra time. Dirk Kuyt comes on, scores a goal, and somehow Cardiff have managed to snatch a second goal just before the end of extra time, and now faced with a penalty shootout. And Cardiff haven't got to the final by beating other teams through penalty shootouts. Surely they're the informed side going into this penalty shootout. But it can go either way when it comes to taking the spot kicks. You require a little bit of luck, and it all depends on whether each of the respective goalkeepers are able to guess which way the ball is going to go, and whether each penalty taker is able to maintain their composure when faced with each spot kick. And just a quick rundown of the goals. The first goal of the game was scored by Joe Mason, who's had quite a good game so far. He's been busy all afternoon. He scored in 19 minutes against the run of play, nutmegging Jose Reina before, and it was up to 60 minutes before Liverpool were able to get a response. Into the second half, Luis Suarez hit the post, and in the goal line scramble that occurred, it was Martin Skirtle who was able to put the ball into the back of the Cardiff net, and it stuck to 1-1. It went into extra time. Even substitutions like Henderson going off and Bellamy coming on weren't able to change the game in too dramatic a way. But it was 108 minutes of full time before Dirk Kuyt another substitute, was able to score a much worked for goal, and it looked like Liverpool were going to run away with the tie. It looked like it was going to be a full victory for Liverpool, but Cardiff somehow managed to score a goal 2 minutes from the end of extra time, second half. Liverpool should have really considered themselves lucky. If they'd have won the game 2-1, they would have been extremely lucky, because Dirk Kuyt headed the ball off the line to make sure that the Liverpool still were in the lead, but Cardiff managed to scrape a goal thanks to Turner on 118 minutes, and now we're faced with penalty shootouts as a result. Just watching displays of the Cardiff goal, their second goal there, absolutely joyous occasion, running to the Cardiff fans at their end of Wembley, flags waving all around. And really, Liverpool have only got themselves to blame for getting into this mess. Fair play to Cardiff, they stuck with it, they got their what they deserved, but Liverpool now will have to maintain composure and score the penalties when they are asked. I'll now head back over to Wembley to Chris and Dan, who will be able to tell us if they know anything about who will be taking those spot kicks for both Liverpool and Cardiff.
Well, we haven't got any lists as of yet, but there's been deep conversation between Malky Mackay and his Cardiff players and Kenny Dalglish and the Liverpool team.
Kenny Dalglish did not look happy at all. He was walking around and he was unbelievably... He was visibly upset at the fact that it's gone to a penalty shootout.
In all honesty, though, I think we agree that Cardiff certainly didn't deserve to lose the game, and they certainly didn't deserve to lose to a goal of the quality of Dirk Kuyt.
Yeah, the first shot was a very, very poor shot. It came back to him, and as he went to hit it, he fell over, but the accuracy took it in the bottom corner.
Exactly. They just had the big coin toss, which Steven Gerrard has won. So the penalties, we believe, will be taken down at the Liverpool end.
I believe Steven Gerrard's chosen that Liverpool will take the first.
Has he? Fair play. Better eyes than I have, better lip reading skills. So I have to see who decides to line up to take the first penalty. The two goalkeepers, as we were saying during the game, they both have exceptional records. Pepe Reina is renowned, as world renowned really, as a penalty saver extraordinaire.
He's never, the thing with Pepe Reina is he's never actually lost a penalty shootout that he's taken part in the game in. And the only penalty shootout Liverpool have lost in the last 5 years was when last season against Northampton when Alexander Dolan. Sorry, it was Brad Jones.
Brad Jones is in goal for that one. So the penalties will be taken down towards our right-hand side where the Liverpool fans are ranked. Liverpool will take the first one, and it's captain Steven Gerrard who places the ball down against Tom Heaton. You can hear the boos and whistles of the Cardiff fans at the other end of the ground. Gerrard takes it right-footed, and it's saved to his right-hand side by Heaton. He flicked it up onto the bar with his left hand, and that's not a good start. Captain Steven Gerrard missing the penalty. It wasn't a good penalty. A nice height for the keeper. He guessed right, and an excellent start for Cardiff.
Good save, but it was a poor penalty. There was no power behind it. He tried to place it, but the placement was terrible.
Walking forward now for Cardiff City, Kenny Miller. We couldn't believe he finished the game. He's going to take the first kick for the Bluebirds up against Pepe Reina, who stands hands on hips at the edge of his 6-yard box, trying to psych out Kenny Miller. We see the mind games going on, kicking both posts before he returns to the centre of his goal. Miller, right-footed. He's missed as well. He's hit the post. Kenny Miller he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Cardiff have missed their penalty as well.
So do you know that penalty shootout getting won 1-0, Dan? I think we're on for that at the minute.
We did say, didn't we, that we'd probably do well if a penalty was scored, and so far it's proving to be.
Well, the flip side, we said it was because of the goalkeepers when the first one was, that was just it.
Charlie Adam takes a second penalty for Liverpool, and he's skied it as well. Charlie Adam he's run up to the ball and put it about 15 yards over the top of the goal.
Absolutely,
that's a dreadful penalty.
That is abysmal. Absolutely
hopeless penalty. We've had 3 poor penalties so far, so it remains 0-0.
It was that wide. It actually went over the top of the stanchion. It didn't even go over the post, it went over the top of the stanchion.
That says it all, really, doesn't it? Next Cardiff City player walking towards the goal. It's Don Cowie. Takes it right-footed, runs up, and he scores into the top left-hand corner of the goal. Rayner went the right way, but you do not save penalties like that. An excellent penalty from Don Cowie. So Cardiff take first blood in the penalty shootout.
Top corner, great penalty. Even Pepe Reina wasn't saving that. I think that's what Steven Gerrard tried to do, but that's how you do it properly.
Next up for Liverpool is Dirk Kuyt. He scored the goal that Liverpool thought had won them the Carling Cup. He did it from 18 yards. Can he do it from 12? Up against Tom Heaton, takes it right footed, sends the keeper the wrong way and puts it low to the goalkeeper's right hand side. So we're level.
Clinical, absolutely clinical. Bottom corner, no keeper would have saved that. It's a great penalty for Dirk Kuyt.
So level at 1-1. Cardiff have taken one fewer penalty than Liverpool though. Hear the boos and whistles from the Liverpool fans. Behind that goal, it's Rudy Gusted. He's had an excellent game. Takes it right footed. Coming against Rayner, and he's hit the post. Rudy Gusted misses the penalty. Pepe Reina guessed the right way, but it didn't matter because he hit the post. He didn't really look confident. He just rolled it towards the corner. And I think Pepe Reina may have got that.
He didn't look confident at all. It was as if he didn't really want to take the penalty. He was very cool, very nonchalant in it. Hit the post.
Next up for Liverpool, Stuart Downing takes it left-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. Excellent penalty. We're rattling through these now. Stuart Downing scores for Liverpool. They take 2-1 lead. Cardiff yet to take their fourth.
Great penalty. Bottom corner again. Bottom left corner. Sent the keeper the wrong way. Great finish.
Excellent penalty. Sending Heaton the wrong way. Next up for Cardiff City is that man, Peter Whittingham. He's a goal scorer. Former Aston Villa man, takes it left-footed and sends Rayner the wrong way. That's an excellent penalty.
Who's got the bottle now, Dan?
We're level again, and it's effectively sudden death. Liverpool score, Cardiff have to score. Liverpool miss, Cardiff can win it with their final kick. It's 2-2, having taken 4 penalties, and you can hear the groan from Chris as walking forwards to take the decisive penalty, Glenn Johnson.
Not who I would have chosen.
Glenn Johnson lines it up, stares down the goalkeeper, and he scores into the roof of the net. An excellent penalty from Glenn Johnson. The keeper gets the right way, but with much like with Don Cowie's penalty, not a chance for Tom Heaton. Right under the bar. You could have 2 goalkeepers in there and he wouldn't save it. So now, to keep Cardiff in the game, it's Anthony Gerrard. He misses! Anthony Gerrard misses the penalty, and Liverpool have won the Carling Cup 2012. Glenn Johnson scored the decisive penalty, and as luck would have it, missing the decisive penalty for Cardiff, Anthony Gerrard.
I don't think he could have written that script any better. Andy Carroll has come flying onto the pitch. He's jumped on top of all of the other Liverpool players. I feel, do you know what? Cardiff did not disgrace themselves. They were probably one of the deserving of a place in the final, and they proved it today. What a great performance from Cardiff, and you can only praise them.
Exactly. I think, to be fair to Cardiff, they probably deserve to get to penalties, and when it does get to the shootout, it's a complete lottery. One team will hold the bottle, one team won't, and unfortunately, as much as it looked like neither team were going to hold their bottle, it's Cardiff who blinked first. And Anthony Gerrard, he looks absolutely distraught, the big number 6. He went to Pepe Reina's right hand side, he just dragged it wide. And Kenny Dalglish ran off the touchline, went absolutely mental, and who can blame him? He's won his first silverware as Liverpool, when he's come back to Liverpool. It's the first major trophy for 6 years for the Reds. And I'll tell you what, for all that Jamie Carragher is getting on a little bit, he was the first man to jump on Pepe Reina. It's absolutely excellent.
And just to point something out, a big bit of class. As soon as that penalty was missed, Craig Bellamy went straight over to every single Cardiff player, every single Cardiff coaching member of staff, Malky Mackay, shook their hands and said, well played.
And it's an excellent gesture really from Craig Bellamy. He didn't go and celebrate with his Liverpool teammates. Fair play to him. He always said that he's supported Cardiff as a boy, wouldn't celebrate if he scored against them. So congratulations, Craig Bellamy. We'll be back at Wembley for the presentation of the trophy in a few moments' time, as everything is put into place down below us. So for now, we'll bring you back to the Radio Broadgreen studio. It's finished here. Cardiff 2, Liverpool 2 after extra time. Liverpool triumphing on penalties by 3-2.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Chris. What an absolutely thrilling end to the League Cup final. And it was Liverpool, in the end, who were able to maintain their composure when taking the penalties. And in the end, it was they who will go on to lift the trophy in a few moments' time. We're heading back to Chris and Dan in just a few moments so that you can enjoy that moment, as I'm sure, as much as they will. You're listening to Radio Broadgreen Sports League Cup final special. And if you've just joined us, I'll tell you the headline news just as we head into the hour. Liverpool have won the tie against Cardiff on penalties. As I'm looking at my monitor now, the Cardiff players are going up to collect their runners-up medals. So we cross back over to Wembley to Chris Orme, and first Dan Jameson will be able to talk us through the ceremony.
Thank you very much, Chris. As we were saying, the Cardiff City players making their way up to the Royal Box to receive their runners-up medals. Mark Hudson, the captain, is leading them up there, limping as he does, embracing the two Malaysian owners of Cardiff City. He looks absolutely exhausted. He's been an absolute hero today, Mark Hudson. He fully deserves that medal. Just a shame for him that Cardiff couldn't quite make it count when it mattered.
It's a pity, to be honest, because I also feel sorry for the Cardiff players now, because some of them are struggling on the pitch. How they're going to make it up those stairs, I'll never know. But they didn't disgrace themselves, and if they perform like that in the Championship, they're absolutely quite easily going to be a Premiership.
Well, they've certainly not disgraced themselves, and I'm sure you can hear in the background the Liverpool fans cheering as Steven Gerrard leads the Liverpool squad up the steps, shaking hands with all and sundry as he goes. He offered scarves and hats and all sorts by the Liverpool fans that he's walking past. Going back to Cardiff, though, a lot of them couldn't make it up the stairs. The captain, Mark Hudson, went off with cramp. They almost had to carry him.
Yeah, and Gunnarsson as well. We knew his arms were working, but he was struggling on the pitch. But fair play, everyone's gone up there, every player's gone up there, and they deserve it, to be honest. Cardiff, I know they've lost, but they deserve the moment. They've played exceptionally well in this match, exceptionally well.
They've been an absolute credit to the Championship and all the teams there. They've been exceptional the whole way through their run to the final, and this was no exception. They really, really brought, as much as people were thinking maybe this might be quite easy for Liverpool, it certainly wasn't. I'm sure that Steven Gerrard will say exactly that in his post-match interview. Cardiff have made this very, very difficult for them indeed. As he leads them out onto the platform in front of the Royal Box, followed by Jamie Carragher. Being offered scarves and all sorts as he salutes the Liverpool fans away to our right-hand side. The trophy is there. It's a long time since Steven Gerrard has had the chance to lift any sort of trophy with Liverpool. 6 long years. As he receives his medal and gets the Carling Cup in his hands, because Liverpool are the Carling Cup winners 2012. Steven Gerrard raises it above his head, passes it to Jamie Carragher, who has to wrestle it off the mascot before he can have a shake about above his head. And I'm sure there'll be a few happy people in the city tonight.
And just as Steven Gerrard went to walk past, Linda Petrucci grabbed him, gave him the biggest hug and everything in the world, and John Henry's there as well, as it looks like Tom Werner's there, and maybe, you never know, maybe this is the start of something, and it's what the Fenway Sports Group bought Liverpool Football Club for.
Exactly, trophies are the name of the game, and I have to say, for all that people, they look down on the Carling Cup, if you look at the joy, Dirk Coutts especially, it's just bouncing up and down, and it certainly means a lot to these players.
It does. You can tell each and every one of them, and it's set out at the start of the season. Kenny Dalglish has played a starting lineup and a very, very full strength, or as close to full strength as he could, starting lineup in every game this season in this competition. So it's not as if he wasn't taking this competition seriously.
That's some nice images here. The players are all going past the owners. The Americans have all come over for the game, so and fair play to them, because the American sports seasons are up and running. They didn't have to be here. They're embracing every single player, including Luis Suarez, who gets a big old hug.
Dami Kamoli nearly got pulled over the barrier then.
And as you can hear in the background, a rather rousing rendition of You'll Never Walk Alone.
I have to say, after the game, I think that's the perfect way to end it. You'll never walk alone, Blair. Liverpool have won the cup, but in a game that really was one of the better Carling Cup finals we've seen in a long time, and a Cardiff City side who didn't disgrace themselves, and with performances like that will probably be in the Premiership sooner rather than later.
Exactly, and well done to Cardiff City. Fantastic competitors, as always. Just at the end of the day, a little bit too much quality in Liverpool.
In the end, yeah. In the end they did, but it still shows, and it still took them a penalty shootout to get past them. So, right place at the right time. You can only say Dirk Kuyt's goal we knew was the right place at the right time. It wasn't the best goal, but Cardiff deserved their equaliser. Penalty shootout wise, you've got to feel for Anthony Gerrard after all the build up, him against his cousin. Unfortunately, it was him who had the unfortunate miss.
I imagine there may be some ribbing going on in the Gerrard household this week.
Most definitely, and especially with being about 100 of them at the ground, it probably couldn't get much worse for him.
Not at all, especially because he is a Liverpool supporter as a boy. I'm sure Stephen won't mind at all. Another medal to add to the collection as he comes down 107 steps from the Royal Box down back onto the pitch with the cup. That pretty much rounds it all off here from Wembley. Liverpool have won their first silverware in 6 years. They've won the Carling Cup 3-2 on penalties after a 2-2 draw with Cardiff. For myself and from Chris, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Dan. It's been an experience and I've really enjoyed it. Maybe it's time to do it again soon.
Let's hope so. And a big thank you to everybody who's been listening. This has been Merseyside Hospital's Football Network on Radio Broadgreen, the Carling Cup final live, and we'll pass you back to Chris Byrne in the Broadgreen studio.
Thanks, guys. Thoroughly entertaining stuff. It may have taken Liverpool a penalty shootout to secure a win in the Carling Cup final, but what an absolutely thrilling encounter it was. May seem like a long time ago now, but it was actually Cardiff who took the first goal thanks to Joe Mason on 19 minutes.
Kenny Miller on the edge of the box. Lovely ball. Mason through the legs of Pepe Reina, and Cardiff take the lead. 19 minutes gone, and Joe Mason has scored for Cardiff. They lead by 1-0. It was an excellent move from Cardiff. Liverpool could not clear their lines, and Kenny Miller turns provider for Cardiff. Surprise could be on. Cardiff City 1, Liverpool 0. 90 minutes played at Wembley.
It took until the second half for Liverpool to respond thanks to Skirtle.
Downing takes it, clips it in against, looking for Carroll on the box, off the post, and Skirtle into the back of the net from the corner. Stuart Downing knocked it in towards Andy Carroll, who won the header. Suarez hit the post, and then for the follow-up, Martin Skirtle, who's had a torrid old time in this game, he reacted quicker and a real poacher's finish. Liverpool have the equaliser. It's Cardiff 1, Liverpool 1.
Well, it took, at the end of normal time, it was 1-1. It took until extra time for impact substitution Dirk Kuyt to give Liverpool the lead.
But there's a goal! As we're saying that, Dirk Kuyt has managed to score.
That came from absolutely
He's come out of absolutely out of the blue. He was running at the Cardiff back line, tried to swing a crossing towards Luis Suarez. It was poorly cleared. It fell back at the feet of Kuyt, who just hit it towards goal, and it's crept in the near post of Tom Heaton's goal, and Liverpool take the lead 2-1.
The dying minutes of extra time, Dirk Kuyt headed a Cardiff chance off the line, but Cardiff were quickly able to get an equaliser just as the game was entering the end of time, thanks to a great goal from Cardiff.
Cardiff, another corner, whips in towards the front post, again off the line, Turner, goal for Cardiff. Cardiff have got a second equaliser. It's Ben Turner. He whips his shirt off and draws towards the Cardiff fans. They've looked threatening from corners all afternoon, and Whittingham's delivery finally pays dividends. 2-2.
Into penalty shootouts, there was misses from both sides, but it ultimately played out Liverpool's favour, with Cardiff missing their fifth and final penalty.
Glenn Johnson.
Not who I would have chosen.
Glenn Johnson lines it up, stares down the goalkeeper, and he scores into the roof of the net. An excellent penalty from Glenn Johnson. The keeper gets the right way, but with much like with Don Cowie's penalty, not a chance for Tom Heaton. Right under the bar. You can have two goalkeepers in there and he wouldn't save it. So now, to keep Cardiff in the game, it's Anthony Gerrard. He misses! Anthony Gerrard misses the penalty!
And that's how the game ended, and that concludes our coverage of the League Cup final. It ended Cardiff 2, Liverpool 2, but Liverpool won on penalties. Join us again on Radio Broadgreen Sport again soon. Cheerio.